he was used to in his past as an assistant coach. But now there's stuff on tape, and so now teams will start breaking that down a little differently as well.
And he's not going to make changes. He's going to do what they've been doing all year and just feel if he goes back and looks at some of the installation of the plays early in training camp, is there something in there that he now has interest in?
The Bears did a nice job against the run in the end game. They stopped them. They got over 100, that's for sure, in the run game. But 25 carries at 4-2 and the longest run of 13. 2 touchdown runs, Love and Jacobs. Bears ran for 179 on 34 carries. And the Bears had some pretty good production on third down. The Packers had some decent production on first down rushing the football. But Christian Watson, the 60-yarder, he finished with 150 on the day on 4 catches. He made the big one that set up the game-winning touchdown as it occurs with Jordan Love and the 1-yard plunge. The Bears had 34 runs and 34 pass plays today, Tommy. Balance in the name of Walter Payton. 34-34. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's what we hope to see. What the average of the 34 runs?
The Bears averaged 5.3.
Okay, and Jeff, what did we ask for before the game started?
More.
Just give me a quarter more yard. Give me 4 yards, so they even surpassed that. And I do think if you can develop the mentality of a successful running game, you can help Caleb, but you can also, have a more time consumption scoring offense with the running game with that profitability.
Running back average was 4.4, 25 for 109. He made some plays with his feet. He made some great throws. There's still some downfield passing connections that are still a little off, but that's going to be mended, I feel. That will happen. It'll happen eventually, and then we're going to learn a little bit even more about Caleb Williams. But today, it's the Packers' way. 20-19, the final score. They go to 6-3, and the Bears now will take on the Minnesota Vikings next Sunday right here at Soldier Field for a noon start. With Tom Thayer, I'm Jeff Joniak. Let's turn it over to Peggy Kaczynski and Jurko for their post-game coverage. Guys?
All right, JJ and Tom, thank you very much. Wow, Jurko, 57 minutes and 57 seconds. The Bears played with heart. And it was the final 3 seconds before they suffer heartbreak on that blocked field goal. A lot of questions going into this game. After a tumultuous week at Hallis Hall, they fire Shane Waldron. They bring in a new play caller, and Thomas Brown moves over. He brought the juice. Caleb looked better, quicker decisions, got the ball in the playmakers, was not holding on to the ball too long. The defense played with heart, but in the end, it just wasn't enough.
In the end, it doesn't matter. After this game, I feel better about my quarterback and the way he can play. I go, so at least you're answering some questions. Unfortunately, you lose. Why you have to settle for the length of the field goal that you have to settle for? You had time. You could have moved the ball downfield. You had all options open with 1 timeout left. You chose to settle for a field goal from extended yardage. And most of the time, people say 50-yarders are nothing in this league. Everybody's making 50-yarders. Well, not if you're the field goal kicker over at Baltimore right now. He's having the time of his life trying to kick field goals over there. Could you have gotten closer? Certainly. You could have gotten closer. You could have stayed aggressive. Absolutely. Instead, you got in the field goal range and you kind of settled for whatever field goal you're going to be able to have. You got inside the line to gain where you knew you were in field goal yardage, and then you settled to kick one as long as possible. And you did, and it got blocked, unfortunately, because the line up front did not do the job. They didn't do the job. They got a hand in the air. The kick was low. It was blocked, and it's over. Another loss in the column. If you bet the Bears today, at least you covered, so congratulations out there. There's money to be made if you bet on the Chicago Bears. But you still lose. 11 in a row. You still lose. Feel better about the quarterback. Why'd you stop going for yardage? I don't get it. I don't understand. You needed to move forward. I also don't like going for a 2-point conversion when you don't have to go for a 2-point conversion. Were those the last points of the game that you planned on scoring? Did you never plan on scoring again? Once you got to 19, you said, I got to go for 2 to make it a 7-point game. I always go for 2 when I have to go for 2. You don't get it. They go for 2 to try to make it a 3-point game. That makes sense. If you're winning 2019, it makes sense to go for 2 to make it a 3-point game. That's what the Bears did when they were up 18-15. and then they got Hail Mary. Today they got blocked. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. You competed well. Your dilemma is this is the week that you're probably going to have your best effort. And it looked like it was going to be their best effort, right? They came out and they're fighting their asses off. They're playing. They're trying to stop them. There were mistakes made. How Christian Watson is running that wide open, I have no idea. Late in the ball game, I don't know who to blame. I know who was coming over late in coverage, but you can't say that's him to blame until you see exactly where the breakdowns were in the play. So, no, it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate being a Bears fan right now. Because here you are again, a game that's close, a game that looks like you got a chance to win it, a game where you're gaining yardage and you had a great fourth down conversion, and here you go, and then all of a sudden we're going to stop and we're going to kick it from here.
The Bears offense came into this game having not scored a touchdown since the fourth quarter of the Washington game. They come away with 2 touchdowns today and a pair of field goals, but winning the time of possession, what hurt is when they needed the touchdown most in the fourth quarter, they couldn't get it. And to win the time of possession and not get the points on the board when they needed it in the fourth quarter is what hurt them in the end. 19 points, not enough against the Green Bay Packers. And they lose 20-19. Let's take a break here. When we come back, we will hear from the head coach, Matt Eberflus. We'll also hear from Caleb Williams. More to come here on the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
What would you do with $1 million? Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana wants to give you the chance to find out in our $1 million giveaway. Earn July 1st through December 27th. Then join us each Friday for your chance to win a grand finale spot for a 1 in 500 chance to be the guaranteed winner of $1 million. The $1 million giveaway, exclusively at Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana. Must be 21. See Players Club for complete details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
In football, success is about team effort, and the same is true for your hair. At Great Clips, they save your haircut details in clip notes, so every member of the highly skilled team knows exactly how to create your signature look. And with our easy-to-use app, you can check in from anywhere and get a ready next text when you're up next for a cut. It's the confidence of a great haircut, delivered by a team you trust. Download our app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great. This is Jeff Joniak here to tell you about Ego Power Plus. Ego is the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Take it from me. I love the 22-inch Select Cut self-propelled lawnmower. It cuts my lawn in a single charge. Ego delivers the power and performance of gas, but without the noise, fuss, or fumes. Ego's patented 56-volt arc lithium battery technology is the heart and soul of the system and what powers game-changing torque needed for demanding jobs. Learn more at egopowerplus.com. Ego, power beyond belief.
Your company can save money by becoming more energy efficient. In fact, the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program can help your business find up to 35% in energy savings, resulting in lower energy costs. At ComEd, we're not just moving toward a clean energy future. We're powering the future of your business. Sign up for your free facility assessment at ComEd.com/poweringbiz. Terms and conditions apply. Offers are subject to change. Actual savings will vary by customer's usage and rate. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is funded in compliance with state law.
Right now at Old National, we have a $450 checking bonus.
Sign me up. But why is that hockey player standing there?
I'm here for the checking.
Well, for a bonus that big, bring on the checking.
Sir, no need to brace yourself against the wall.
It's bank checking.
I knew that.
Earn up to a $450 bonus when you open a checking account and complete qualifying activities within 90 days of account opening. Another reason to get old. Old National, where relationships and results matter. Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through October 31st, 2024. Visit oldnational.com/checking.
So you call your virtual insurance company to ask a simple question about your policy, but now you're on hold listening to this music while you wait and... wait. Auto Owners works with local independent agents who tailor coverage to meet your needs and pick up the phone when you call, because you shouldn't be on hold so long that you memorize the music. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Reardon Insurance Group in Chicago if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine says...
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
Property managers and GCs use FinishingChicago.com's contractors for finishes and protective coatings in the most iconic venues, interior spaces, and essential infrastructure. Our painters apply industry-leading commercial and industrial finishes inside and out, so your biggest assets always put their best square footage forward. FinishingChicago.com has your free list of painting, wall covering, glass systems, drywall finishing, and signage contractors. For a great finish, start with FinishingChicago.com.
The Chicago Bears podcast. If you aren't listening, you're not getting the whole story. See it or hear it now on the ESPN Chicago app or wherever you like to pod.
Here comes the boom.
Welcome to the Great Clips postgame show on the Bears Radio Network. Brought to you by Great Clips is gonna be great by Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, and by Miller Lite. And now, the Great Clips postgame show on the Bears Radio Network.
Here are your hosts, Peggy Kaczynski and John Yurkovich.
Bears lose to the Packers 2019, their 11th straight loss to their rivals. They now drop to 4-6 on the season. The Packers move up now to 7-3. 11 straight losses now to the Green Bay Packers. Going into this game, Jurk, Matt Eberflus said that he expected big changes from Thomas Brown to bring more creativity to the play calling, to bring the juice, and to put Caleb in better positions to be successful. What did you think of the offense?
Well, you saw more RPOs, that's for sure, right? So there's a lot more run-pass option in there. You saw Caleb putting the ball in the stomach of the running back, then pulling it and running it himself. You saw him scrambling. When there was pressure, he found a way to get out, and he found himself some positive yardage. Any run game that's buoyed on quarterback running, I'm always a little bit worrisome about that, and scrambles, because you're back there on the pass. But I thought that's kind of that. But I think the attitude of your wide receivers were better, and your tight end were better in today's game. I also thought what Caleb Williams did via the pass, when he was back there confident, when they were bringing the blitz, he was just sitting and chucking and getting it out to his receivers, giving them a chance to make play. I think he only overthrew one guy. So the most positive thing out of the game is I thought Caleb Williams looked some of the best that he has all year against a very high-quality opponent. So that was nice to see. Thomas Brown didn't reinvent the wheel. I think Thomas Brown just went with the plays and the sequencing of plays that he liked and that he enjoyed. And when you underthrow a ball, you throw the ball in the back hip, that's the receiver making the adjustment to the ball, making the play. They've had opportunities to do that this year, so far this year. They haven't been willing to do it. Caleb hasn't been willing to fire it. At least in this game, he was willing to allow his receivers to help make plays for him. And that's what I think you saw a little bit of that on the field. So congratulations go out there to the Bears offense. They did enough to win a game, but they didn't win a game. They did enough to win a game, but they did not win a game.
There was a lot of talk about there being disconnect on the offense. DJ Moore and Caleb Williams, they definitely were trying to reestablish that relationship today, as DJ Moore was targeted 7 times, caught all 7 passes for 62 yards and 8.9 yards per pass average. Roma Dunze was targeted 10 times, caught 6 of those passes for 65 yards. His yards per pass average, 10.8. But it was obvious they were not trying to go deep downfield, as accuracy downfield with Caleb Williams has been an issue. They were trying to get the ball out quick, get it in the hands of their playmakers, and let them make plays after the catch.
The ball to Kmet was a nice pass.
That was a nice pass, 25-yard pass.
Exceptional pass. It was a 7-route or a flag route out toward the sidelines on an angle. I thought that was an exceptional pass. And then the back hip throw, because the receiver recognizes it, he goes ahead and stops, gets himself clear to the defender while the defender was still grabbing him, and finds a way to make the catch. So nice job. Good running I like to go to the rushing. Where are we at, Caleb? 7.8. 7.8. Your running backs average 5.1, and Roshan averaged 3.3 down by the goal line. So 24 rushes for 104 yards out of your running back, 70 out of the quarterback, and DJ Moore gave you a run for 5 yards.
Listen, the defense did, while the Bears' offense, we saw a lot more of Justin Fields with some designed runs for Caleb Williams today in his 70 yards rushing. The Bears finished with 179 yards rushing. They outrushed the Green Bay Packers. And the Packers, coming into this game, one of the best rushing teams in the NFL. They're number 3 in rushing yards per game. They were averaging 154 yards per game. And the Bears' defense held them to 106 yards today. They did a nice job in stopping the run.
The Bears have also done something that's nearly statistically impossible, but the Bears seem to find a way to do it all the time.
Turnover differential.
They were +1, and they controlled the clock.
Yep.
And usually those are your two telltale signs if you're going to win a football game. They had both of them. They were +1, and they held the ball for, 34, 35 minutes? And they still found a way to lose a game. I mean, you're doing things by losing games that are like, you're finding ways to lose right now, and that's a problem.
It's their red zone. The problem is scoring touchdowns instead of coming away with field goals. It seems like that continues to be a bugaboo for them, is getting into the end zone with 6 points instead of 3 on the field goal. Bears now start the second half of the season with their 4th straight loss. It's a start to the division schedule that is not going to get any easier because the Green Bay Packers were the team that you were hoping would be the most beatable in the division to help catapult the Bears into the rest of their games. Next week, they'll host the Vikings. The Vikings, one of the surprise teams in the division, and then they have the Lions in 2 weeks from now and Thanksgiving. Doesn't get any easier.
It does not get any easier. And wait till you play them on the road. It really doesn't get any easier. And that game at the end of the year, now that the Packers are 7-3, will mean something for the Green Bay Packers to get into the playoffs. It will absolutely mean something for them.
It is still, as much as Thomas Brown did help the offense, like we said, he didn't reinvent the wheel. We saw improvements in the offense. We saw better decision-making with Caleb, except on that last drive. Starts off with back-to-back sacks. It looked like they were doomed. It looked like he panicked. It looked like Caleb was back to panicking as well. But let's throw it back to Soldier Field because we do have Matt Eberflus standing by with Jeff Joniak and Tom Thayer. Take it away, guys.
Yep. Sorry, you didn't have the mic up. Coach, Jeff and Tom with you. Break it down, man, because that was quite the football game, number one. Tough way to lose, number 2.
Yeah, you look at the positive things, in terms of we had the change on offense, during the start of the week, and I thought the guys responded well during the process of that, and it showed up, today on game day. I thought that the offense played winning football, quarterback played winning football, and I thought the team played together and played complementary football, and I was proud of the way the guys came together in that football game, obviously playing our rival, and it came down to the very end. And, I feel good about the operation in terms of, the operation there at the end. Some big plays were made, by the offense. From 3rd and 19, I had 2 plays to Rome and then 1 to Keenan, to get us to the 30 there. And we ran 1 play there, and we wanted to punch it in there a little bit closer. And then we felt really good about where we were, and we milked it down there and called a timeout. And then, we feel good about, obviously, Cairo's made clutch kicks, made a bunch of those kicks inside that mark a bunch of times at Soldier Field. And, again, I got to look at the tape. I haven't seen it in terms of the protection, but I feel good about that operation in Cairo making that kick. Defense did a good job with the 1 turnover. We had a red zone stop on downs. That stop, the 2-point play was really a big stop, to make us, to get us into that position to win it with a field goal at the end. But, again, I know that didn't end the way we wanted it to, but I was proud of the way the guys fought and proud of the way the guys played complementary football from beginning to the end.
Yep, you have to underscore the fight because this was a good old-fashioned Bears-Packer game all the way through from the early physicality, I should say. And, you and I discussed this the other day, that you anticipated it being a physical game, run-based in many cases, and that proved to be true. But you just got to really appreciate them balling up their fists and fighting today.
Yeah,
as hard as
and
they
you
did.
look at we talked about the run game, and another positive there is that, we were 3.0 on defense, which is really good. And that's the best we've been all year. And then on offense, Caleb used his legs a little bit, which helped that number. But we also had good distribution between Swift and Johnson, 14 carries and 10 carries, and we ended up having a 5.3 average there and 179 yards. So that to me is also a positive from the game.
Matt, what did you learn about Thomas Brown working side by side on a game day?
Yeah, really good. Really good. Again, he was up in the press box. I think that's really, he likes to do that. He likes to be able to see the game from up there. We were in constant communication in terms of all those fourth downs that we went for. So I think those were really big for us, getting those. And, and the one we had at the very end, we just were 4th and 3. We ended up deciding to punt and pin on that one based on where the time was and where the situation in the game was. So that's what we did. But really good communication, really good operation. And I thought his demeanor with Caleb was really good, too.
Yeah, that's why I was guessing. In the midst of their young working relationship, I think we saw improvements in Caleb that are really transferable from week in and week out. Is that the same kind of view that you had of it in Caleb's performance?
Yeah, it really was. It was good. I thought the operation on the sideline in terms of the communication, what happened in the drive before and then what are we going to go to next. Like I said before in the beginning, I just felt a collaborative effort from every coach and the players working together to be able to get that done, and you really felt that on the field today.
It's kind of cool because it seems like Simo's job, Chris Morgan's job, is never done. You get a lineup in there, then all of a sudden you have an injury, and he brings in another player. But you talk about it often at the podium that these guys all go through cross-training, and I think it's evident when you bring a guy like Jake Curran in there, and he goes in at offensive guard, and you really don't skip a beat physically or mentally.
Yeah, no doubt. And I really think that those guys have to continue to work. Because, again, we got a season ahead of us still. We got our division game next week. And I know we fell short this week, but, we were right there at the very end, and we got to punch it in at the end.
Matt, lastly from me, with Caleb using his legs to pick up some key I think he did 3 third downs that he converted with his legs. What did that do for the offense to loosen things up, to get things going in the passing game too, and just what it does for him moving forward if he's going to have that kind of latitude to do those things?
Yeah, I think it's really good because, when you have a quarterback that can do that, you have to, assign a guy down there to take him. So it really puts you, at a disadvantage in terms of your shell coverage. You can't, put everybody into the shell coverage because you got your matches there and it leaves those open running lanes. And they really have to be smart about their rush lanes, So that to me is where it's at. And then you get a little more single high and you get a little more one-on-one matchups.
All right, Matt, best of luck as you prepare for the Minnesota Vikings. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.
That's Bears head coach Matt Eberflus. Peggy, Jurko, back to you guys.
All right, JJ, thank you very much. Matt Eberflus's interview with Jeff and Tom is brought to you by Finishing Chicago. All great finishes start with hiring qualified contractors from finishingchicago.com. 312-332-3776. We open up the phone lines. We'll hear from QB1 Caleb Williams as well. All that when we come back on the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
$2.4 million. The Verdoliak Law Group wins again for their clients. That's right. The Verdoliak Law Group recovered $2.4 million for a client who was injured in a train accident. If you're injured, make sure to call the Verdoliak Law Group. Playing professional football and being on the radio for many years, I've had the opportunity to endorse many products and companies. But this is special. The Verdoliak Law Group, owned by close friends, has been helping people for 60 years. They've even taken care of my neighbors and close friends. I truly believe in them. When you need a doctor, you look for the experience and the skill. The same goes when you're choosing a lawyer. The Verdoliak Law Group has recovered over $9 billion for clients and served more than 40,000 people. Whether it's personal injury, auto or truck accidents, wrongful death, or medical malpractice, call my friends at Verdoliak Law Group. The Verdoliak Law Group has done great for my friends and neighbors. They will do great for you, too. Call them today at 844-4VLG-LAW.
That's right, it's Pat the Designer. Designer! Miller Lite has asked me to judge the best bear caves in Chicagoland, and each week I'm bringing Miller Lite and bear swag to the best designed bear caves in town. And the best will win 2 tickets to watch the Bears game at Lambeau and tailgate in style at the Tundra Trio. So send me your pictures or videos. Go to MillerLiteFanCave.com to submit. This is going to be so much fun. Brought to you by Miller Lite, official beer of the Chicago Bears. Go to MillerLiteFanCave.com right now.
From last-second game-winning field goals to 98-yard kickoff returns, football is exciting. But as the official bank of the Chicago Bears, PNC prefers to be steady and boring, like a solid ground game that eats up the clock. A strategy that scored a lot of financial wins over the last 160 years. And while our customers may not wear our name on the back of jerseys, Bears fans can get 20% off regularly priced merchandise with the Chicago Bears PNC Bank debit card. A pretty exciting option play if you ask us. Find out more at pnc.com/bearscard. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Winter is coming, and you know what that means. Tailgates, commutes, and those dog walks are about to get real cold real fast. This winter, you don't need to freeze your butt off. You can gear up with Mobile Warming by Field Cheer, Bluetooth heated apparel that cranks up the heat with just a tap. From socks to gloves to jackets, instant warmth is a button away. So head to fieldcheer.com and feel the heat for yourself. Right now, get 30% off the entire website with promo code ESPN30 at checkout. That's promo code ESPN30 at fieldcheer.com.
LoadSmart offers you a fresh canvas, empowering you to take control of your supply chain. Instantly price, book, and ship with guaranteed capacity tailored to your unique needs. LoadSmart's automated solutions eliminate the chaos of manual processes, giving you the freedom to design a more efficient, cost-effective operation. Whether it's FTL, LTL, PTL, expedited, or drayage, LoadSmart helps you shape your logistics your way. Join the likes of Amazon Freight, Cabot Creamery, and Scott's Miracle-Gro to move more with less at LoadSmart.com/ESPN.
UI Health believes everyone deserves exceptional care. Their care teams are leaders in managing and treating complex diseases and conditions, utilizing the latest innovations and minimally invasive surgery. UI Health prioritizes personalized care from diagnosis through precision treatment. UI Health develops the care plan that's right for you. UI Health, exceptional care for you. Learn more at uihealth.care.
Hey Bears fans, Steinhoffel's is a proud partner of the Chicago Bears. Steinhoffel's newest 100,000 square foot furniture and mattress superstore is opening soon in Orland Park at Orland Park Place. With stores in Vernon Hills, Crystal Lake, Downers Grove, Hartwood Heights, Schaumburg, and opening soon in Orland Park, Steinhoffel's is Chicagoland's furniture and mattress leader with the largest selection to fit every style and budget and is 100% employee owned. Shop in-store and online at steinhoffels.com. Dear Spotlight, Toyota has more all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive vehicles than any other brand. Find yours and shine on. Toyota, let's go places.
Packers 20, Bears 19. Scott Daly on the ball. Taylor will extend his right hand on cue from Cairo Santos. South end zone upright. Snap. Placement. Kick is blocked by the Green Bay Packers. They got the penetration, and they blocked the kick. And they will survive and leave with an 11th consecutive win over the Bears. Crusher. 20-19. Green Bay the win. To go to 7-3, the Bears fall to 4-6. Haven't seen a replay. Not sure that I want to.
Peggy and Jurko postgame, ESPN Chicago.
A heartbreaking start to the division schedule against the Bears' biggest rivalry in the Green Bay Packers. Let's throw it back to Soldier Field, where Jason McKee is standing by with Caleb Williams.
Here at Bears quarterback Caleb Williams. Caleb, you guys had good balance on offense today. You guys put up over 391 total yards and 2 scores. What made this offense different today under the helm of offensive coordinator Thomas Brown?
Yeah, I think your first starts with Thomas. The first day that all of that happened and everything went down, I think he came in and demanded a certain type of ball from us and how we're going to play when we're out there. And I think that led throughout the week. It focusing on details, it focusing on, and when we messed up, we redid it right then and there. And then I think he just helped set us up. Obviously, the defense does a good job. They're a good defense over there, and I think I think Thomas was up there battling, and we were down the field out there grinding together. So I think our togetherness showed today. I think our fight showed between all, other than just offense, defense, special teams. And I know it's not the outcome we want, but I have a lot of bright spots.
He's a former player, a fiery guy, a guy that has a lot of energy. It looked like the offense had a ton of energy out there. You guys made a mistake. You were able to overcome that, something we haven't seen throughout this entire season. How was practice? Did he bring that energy in practice? Even, like you said, you guys went back and redid the mistakes. Talk about the energy he brought to this offense throughout the week of preparation.
Yeah, I think it first starts with his control of one itself, and then understanding the position that he's in, and the control he has to have over us, and the control that he does have over us, meaning, we call those plays. We got to believe in him. He believes in us to go make plays, whether it's, bad plays happen, good plays happen. It doesn't really matter. On to the next is the mindset that we were on and throughout this week. And, we knew it was going to be a battle, and we kept fighting until the end.
In the passing game, it looked like a lot more, quick game, a lot more intermediate routes. You were able to get the ball out quicker. Was that a big emphasis in the game plan today?
Yeah, I'd say it was an emphasis. Being able to get the ball out of my hands. We've had a few guys go down up front, and guys have to fill in that hasn't maybe been starting or planned for a while. And so, being able to adapt to those things. And, this week we did a pretty good job of getting the ball out of my hands, being decisive. And even when we took those shots, that we were still decisive, we were on point and on timing.
The run game came alive today as well. DeAndre had 71 yards rushing. You put up 70 yards yourself. How much pressure did that alleviate from you in the passing game, getting the run game going?
Yeah, I think the run game is always important, and a lot of times defenses don't count for the QB, and I'm not one that necessarily runs much. But they had lanes, things were opening up, and want to play clean, efficient football, and been able to get a few efficient runs, like we were, whether it's myself or Dre or Roshan and things like that. It opens up the pass game and opens up everything. And so being able to be efficient in those situations and running the ball is always important for us.
Last question for you, Caleb. Through 10 NFL games, what is the biggest thing that you've learned throughout your time in NFL?
I think the biggest thing is the possessions. It's probably an interesting answer, but the possessions, learning the possessions, meaning that there's not a lot of possessions, meaning that, in college, you may get a lot of possessions, and in NFL you don't get many, to say the least. And so being able to be efficient, being able to be on point, being able to control what we can control, not have negative plays, all goes into that one play, that one drive, and to be able to come out with points and things like that is super positive, just because, like I said, you don't get too many drives.
All right, thanks for your time. Back to you, Peggy and Jurko, up in the booth.
All right, J-Mac, thank you very much. J-Mac's interview with Caleb Williams is brought to you by Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. See Aaron Lewis on November 22nd and 23rd at Hard Rock Live. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Interesting that Caleb Williams just mentioned the biggest difference between the NFL right now for him and what he's learning from college are the possessions. And you and I were just talking about that. They controlled the clock 36 minutes, almost 36 and a half minutes to 23 and a half for Green Bay with the time of possession, and they come away with 2 field goals and 2 touchdowns. 19 points is not enough in the NFL to win games.
No, not enough. Matter of fact, that point total, 19, would only have won you one football game today, and that was Pittsburgh beating Baltimore 18-16. So that 19 would have only won one football game that's been played Thursday and today in the noon slot. The other thing he talked about is the possessions. Do you know how many possessions the Bears had in that game? I have it right in front of me.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
7.
7
possessions in a football game. I mean, even if you max out on every possession, you're scoring 49 points. I think the Bears scored on 4 of 7 possessions, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Now, 4 of 7 possessions. It was nice that they were still in the ball game because of the interception that was thrown down in the red zone. And, Green Bay went for it and was stopped. So that was, in essence, like 2 turnovers, right? The interception down by the goal line and they went for it on fourth down, and they got stymied. Jordan Love got stopped. So that's 2 times that Green Bay was down there in the red zone, and they came away with 0 points, and yet you still found a way to lose 20-19 today, which is enough to drive you absolutely crazy. I don't want to get upset. I mean, there's reasons to get upset in games past. Thought the offense came out and played their butt off. They broke down at the worst time they can, the final play of the game. They've done that twice now this year. You break down in the final play of the game when you need to be the best. They're finding ways not to be the best. So,
did you think that they should have handed the ball off a couple of times, used the clock a little bit better that final drive?
This has happened to the Bears in the past, where they get into field goal range and then they become ultra conservative. They've done this before, and we went, we Mad Hatters. We were blowing steam out of our ears. We couldn't understand, why wouldn't you try to get as close as you possibly can to make that field goal? The closer you get, the better odds you have of making the field goal.
Higher percentage.
Right. So, and the more discouraged the defense gets. You know what I'm saying? The more discouraged the defense gets. So certainly you would think that you'd want to get closer. And then who's responsible for saying, okay, we're here, let's run the clock down, let's make sure they use their final timeout, whatever. And they already had used their final timeout. You're the one that had the timeout. You run it, you got them on the run. They've got to be down after the fact that they was 3rd 19 and they gave up a first down. They've got to be somewhat despondent back there, full of panic. Why not continue on and make it a 27-yard field goal? Now, there's no guarantee that 27-yard field goal doesn't get blocked. But you tried the field goal you tried from distance, and it was blocked. So,
well, they definitely had Green Bay's defense flustered there in that final 2 minutes, because completions to Roma Dunze, 16 yards. Completion, Roma Dunze, 21 yards. Completion, Keenan Allen, 12 yards. They had them on their heels there. It did seem like they should have been able to get a few more yards on them to get a little bit closer instead of a 46-yard attempt out of
And even then, if you get closer, if you notice what the football does, right? The football's blocked. It still goes forward. Even then, if you're closer, it's blocked. It still has a chance going through the uprights. Right? That ball was still heading toward the uprights. It was still heading forward, I should say. It came crash landing down at about the, 5-yard line when it hit the ground finally. But even if they get a hand on it, there's still a chance it gets driven through the goalpost. So, that's a mistake. They've made it before. They've made it with different coaches. For one reason or another, you get kind of satisfied, and you're like, okay, we're going to have a chance to win the game here. If they go for a play and they fumble it and they put it on the carpet, then it's like, why'd you try to get closer? I can see somebody trying to argue that point. But you didn't, and you had them on the ropes, and you could have made it a shorter field goal, but you didn't.
When the Bears got the ball back after stopping Green Bay on the 1-yard line on that 4th down play with Jordan Love, the Bears got the ball back, and there was over 4 minutes left in the game. I thought that was a key drive, that them being unable to score, to put any points up on the board at all, and having to punt to give Green Bay the ball back with 4:17 left, and then they end up with the Jordan Love touchdown. After that Christian Watson 60-yarder, that call absolutely could have gone the Bears' way, but it didn't.
I mean, sure it could have. The ball moved. They said it was possession, and that's what they went with. And all that, no matter what happened there with everything, you still got a chance to win the game. No matter what happened, what calls the officials were making, and what was going on and what wasn't going on. Interesting, Tom Brady on a 15-yard penalty that they had on Caleb Williams said they roughed Caleb Williams.
The McKinney hit out of bounds.
Yeah, and Tom Brady's the one that's criticizing him for looking for a call. Really? Have you ever seen yourself in any footage anywhere ever looking at the officials and crying like a baby back there trying to get calls?
The comment was, sounds like he went to the USC School of Drama.
Yeah, and who's the biggest drama queen out there?
It was Tom Brady.
It was Tom Brady. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was.
I mean, what a joke. It's like the guy forgot what he was when he was on the field. All he did was pout to the officials.
Well, a game going in when confidence was a question. I think confidence coming out. Bears players, fans, coaches should feel a little bit more confident despite the loss, but it's still a loss. It's still 4 straight, and it's still not a great way to open up your division schedule. Let's take a break. When we come back, more of your phone calls. We open up the phone lines, I should say, at 312-332-3776. You are listening to the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine says.
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
What would you do with $1 million? Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana wants to give you the chance to find out in our $1 million giveaway. Earn July 1st through December 27th. Then join us each Friday for your chance to win a grand finale spot for a 1 in 500 chance to be the guaranteed winner of $1 million. The $1 million giveaway. Exclusively at Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana. Must be 21. See Players Club for complete details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
You have heard me talk about how businesses are elevating their game in Bolingbrook. Here's Mayor Mary Alexander Basta to tell you herself.
Thanks, Peggy. Bolingbrook remains the most desirable southwest suburban location to start or expand your business. I invite you to learn how welcoming we are to the many businesses who recently have made Bolingbrook their home.
So if you're looking to elevate your future and the future of your business, visit bebolingbrook.com to learn more.
Join us and be Bolingbrook.
Hi, this is Jeff Joniak here to tell you about Ego Outdoor Power Equipment. Did you know that all Ego 56-volt batteries are universal? I love that my lawnmower, string trimmer, and blower all share the same powerful 56-volt Ego Arc lithium battery. With over 90 Ego tools to choose from, you can build a powerful collection. Plus, Ego delivers the power of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. That's why Ego is the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Learn more at egopowerplus.com.
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Hurry in for exceptional offers through December 2nd. Visit BMWUSA.com for details.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Your company can save money by becoming more energy efficient. In fact, the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program can help your business find up to 35% in energy savings, resulting in lower energy costs. At ComEd, we're not just moving toward a clean energy future. We're powering the future of your business. Sign up for your free facility assessment at ComEd.com/poweringbiz. Terms and conditions apply. Offers are subject to change. Actual savings will vary by customer's usage and rate. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is funded in compliance with state law.
Property managers and GCs use FinishingChicago.com's contractors for finishes and protective coatings in the most iconic venues, interior spaces, and essential infrastructure. Our painters apply industry-leading commercial and industrial finishes inside and out, so your biggest assets always put their best square footage forward. FinishingChicago.com has your free list of painting, wall covering, glass systems, drywall finishing, and signage contractors. For a great finish, start with FinishingChicago.com.
Ings Insurance. Insurance that's moving business forward. Ings Insurance. That's Ings with an E. ENGS Insurance.com.
Caleb under center. Kramer ahead of Roshan Johnson in the eye. Take, turn, give. Roshan Johnson barrels in for the touchdown. Touchdown Bears. And the lead. 9-7 over the visiting Packers. Point pending. And man, hallelujah, it feels good to give the touchdown call. Roschon Johnson in for 6, caps a 13-play, 76-yard drive.
Peggy and Jurko, post-game on ESPN Chicago.
Yes, the Bears offense got 2 touchdowns, both rushing touchdowns, one from DeAndre Swift on a 39-yard run, the other from Roschon Johnson, as the Bears rushed for 179 yards, out-rushing the Green Bay Packers, who had 106, one of the best rushing teams coming into this game, and the Bears defense held them. Caleb Williams with a 200-yard passing day. He was 23 of 31 for 231 yards, sacked 3 times, twice on the last drive. He was able to overcome both of those sacks, though, to continue that drive going. He finishes with a rating of 95. Jordan Love, 261 yards passing, a touchdown and interception, 1 sack, and he leaves Chicago with a rating of 113, still owning the Chicago Bears. 312-332-3776. Let's go out to the phone lines as we do each week on the postgame show. We begin in Detroit, where Steven is up next. Hello, Steven.
Hey, guys. Look, this game kind of really proves a point that Eberflus doesn't coach to win, but he finds a way to lose only to see, like a silver lining or moral victories. I don't understand that last play with about 46 seconds left. And he said about, the Packers loading up the box or something. You're not going to run the ball directly into the Packers defense and where you lose a yard. You could have at least, do the RPO and let Caleb run outside and gain another 5-6 yards. And because I think Eberflus got scared about, Caleb losing yards on back-to-back sacks on that first 2 drives, I just think that, we should probably start calling Matt Eberflus or something for the rest of the season, because this man just keeps finding ways to lose and always has skirted responsibility for such a long time. That Washington game, I think finally, when it was like the camels that broke the camel's back, I should say.
It's the straw.
And the players just doesn't see,
that's the
things
straw
that
that
were
breaks
inspiring.
the camel's back. Yes, the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Well,
the defense was terrible. And I just think that there's not.
I thought they should have been more aggressive, period. At the end of the game, I thought they should have been more aggressive. The play was a Roschon run. It gained 2 yards. 2 yards. He bounced it up. He was in the middle, then he bounced it to the left side, and he gained 2 yards. That was the final offensive play of that football game. Then the timeout was taken. It was a 46-yard field goal that was blocked by Brooks. And there you go. That's how the game ended. Eberflus, if you want to call him Eberflus, feel free, fellas. Call him whatever you like. Get it started in the neighborhood, in the chat rooms. Maybe Sylvie will start calling him Eberflus. Maybe Cap or Hoodie, when they interview him tomorrow morning, can do that.
Oh, you think that's still happening?
I won't do that. Do I think it's still happening? Yeah, why wouldn't it be happening?
May have trouble on the phone lines again.
Oh, well, that's not surprising. Yeah, if they would have won, the phone lines would have been perfect.
Out to Milwaukee we go. Dalen is up next. Hi, Dalen.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, kind of agree with that last caller. Eberflus, which I kind of like. I feel like really did cost us a game today. I don't understand why we're punting on 4th and 2 at midfield. You're 4 for 4 on 4th down. There's 3 minutes left in the game. You punt the ball, allow them to go down the field, score. Okay, you stop the 2-point conversion. But then it's just like putting you in these terrible situations that you have no business even being in the first place. You're 4 for 4 on 4th down. You establish your dominance all day in that department. So it's like you go get this, and then Green Bay, I think, had 1 timeout left. So maybe you get down to near the 2-minute warning. You get there. All I'm saying is, like, you can burn the clock out or have as much time go off the clock. And maybe Green Bay gets the ball back with, a minute or 30 seconds, and then they don't have all that time to drive down the field and score.
The Bears,
just frustrating.
They have 60% success rate on 4th down. 60%. I think they lead the league in fourth down conversions.
The Bears are winning 19-14, and it was 4th and 2 at the 50, and you want him to go for it. That's what I just heard. Whoa. Really? Really? You get him, you pin him down at the 10-yard line, you make things happen for yourselves.
The problem is your punter pins them down on the 9-yard line, and then you have someone take a penalty that gives them 15 yards and puts them at the 24.
Right? Personal foul penalty.
Yeah.
Who in his infinite wisdom decided it was time to get a personal foul penalty? New guy?
Agbenmagig.
She's got the giggles. You got the giggles.
Agbengbamiga. That's it. Agbengbamiga had the personal foul on the
personal
coverage.
Foul penalty.
Yeah. It's just,
and we can blame the coaches, and everybody's going to blame the coach. The decision not to go for it further, but players decide to do things that are idiotic sometimes.
Right.
And that penalty, and really, does it stop them from completing the ball to Christian Watson for a 60-yard gain? Are they calling different plays at that time, or did the offense coordinator have the sequence that he wanted when he was down there? Right? The guy's running scot-free open, dives to catch the ball. There's nobody within 10 yards of him to touch him down. He gets up and runs for another 30 yards, beyond the point of being ridiculous, right? So, yeah, you would hope that you're not getting that 15-yard penalty and you're keeping there on the 9-yard line. You're making it insurmountable for them to get down. But because they got down so fast and scored a touchdown, it allowed you to get the ball back. And it allowed you to have a legitimate chance to win the game. But up 5, pinning them on the 9-yard line, I give my defense the better part of something to be able to muster up the effort to cause something, to cause some chaos, to cause the Green Bay Packers to sputter. And it was going to be 4-down territory the whole way because it's going to be their final possession, basically. Unfortunately, the Bears find ways to lose games. And your schedule has gotten tougher as of today. It's gotten tougher. My problem is the best effort the Bears are going to give. The best effort the Bears are going to give is this one because of all the attention they've gotten for the changes that have been made and the culpability and the responsibility, in essence, being on the players for the change that was made because of their lack of performance and their specific blame on Shane Waldron as the reason why they didn't have the ability to perform. So now the onus comes upon the players that they've got to go out and perform. They did. If somebody is jumping for joy over a 20-point game, congratulations. Or 19-point game, I should say. You put 19 boys, time to do cartwheels down the street, I guess, when you score 19 big ones. But either way, you didn't do enough to win a football game. And then somebody else failed on your football team. The field goal team failed miserably, and that's how you found a way to ultimately, at the end of the day, you lost the game because you couldn't make a 46-yard field goal, period. That's it. No excuses, and it's going to be the best effort you're going to be able to muster up. This is the best effort. Minnesota might come in here next week, and I'm afraid what might happen.
The toughest remaining schedule in the NFL opponents have a 70% win percentage. Every opponent that the Bears will face from here on out is in the top half and pressuring the quarterback and ranked 17th or better in opponent passer rating. And we should mention the offensive line had given up 1 sack after giving up, I lost track.
62 plays.
Yeah,
they gave up 1 sack.
And then gave up back-to-back sacks on the final drive.
On the first 2 plays on the final.
Bears were without Tevin Jenkins in this game. Ryan Bates started at left guard instead. He left then with a concussion protocol, and they were also without Karan Amagaji. And the left tackle that they brought in, Jay Curran, is an offensive tackle who ended up having to play guard because they did release Nate Davis earlier this week. So the drama does continue, and they must still play next week when the Vikings come to town. Let's take a break again. We need to pause 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves. This is WMVP, WTBC, HD2 Chicago. You are listening to the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
This is the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago, WMVP, WTVC HD2, Chicago.
Crash, bang, suddenly you are on the DL. If that happens as a result of somebody else's negligence, we can help. I'm Jim Morisi, Chicago personal injury lawyer. Our experienced attorneys and support staff will talk with you during a free consultation, tell you your options, and ensure that you take the right steps throughout the entire process. Visit us at MorisiLongo.com. That's MoriciLongo.com. Your future is our priority.
Hi, this is Dave Musial, owner of Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. With our biggest sale ever, furnaces from $39 a month, furnace and air conditioning combos from $59 a month, plus 72 months interest-free financing and up to a $4,000 system rebate. Four Seasons guaranteed to beat any competitor's price by up to $1,000 guaranteed. So call today for your free in-home estimate and same-day installation.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
Dear Autumn Leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Toyota's lineup of cool, colorful vehicles is ready to ride by your side. Take on fall in a trail-tackling Tacoma or go for the powerful Tundra. Head to Toyota.com for more info or visit your local Toyota dealership today. Toyota, let's go places.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right. And naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
I never knew owning a gourmet Italian pasta business could be this profitable.
Thanks to our Old National commercial banker.
That warehouse expansion loan?
Oh, and the help with our equipment leasing.
But still, gotta say, it seems like he loves the Italian pasta business more than we do.
La nuova attrezzatura ha reso il processo molto più efficiente. I mean, the new equipment, it makes it so much more efficient.
Really dedicated commercial bankers.
Sorry, got a little carried away there.
Another reason to choose Old National Bank. Get old. Member FDIC.
Illinois State University, like Chicago's favorite football team, welcomed a historic recruiting class this fall, the largest since 1986. Like our gridiron heroes, we're excited to watch these newest additions work hard, find success, and create a legacy of their own. And while a few of our students have suited up on Sundays, our small class sizes, expert faculty, and personalized learning environment will prepare every student for Hall of Fame careers. So be part of a winner and take the first step toward creating your legacy. Apply for admission today at illinoisstate.edu/apply.
In football, success is about team effort, and the same is true for your hair. At Great Clips, they save your haircut details in clip notes, so every member of the highly skilled team knows exactly how to create your signature look. And with our easy-to-use app, you can check in from anywhere and get a ready next text when you're up next for a cut. It's the confidence of a great haircut, delivered by a team you trust. Download our app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Being pregnant and finding out you have cancer. I'm Robin, and that was me. But my oncologist, orthopedic surgeon, and high-risk obstetrician at Northwestern Memorial Hospital created the safest chemotherapy plan, so I didn't have to choose between my life and my baby's.
Top ranked in Illinois for obstetrics and gynecology by U.S. News & World Report, Robin's team collaborated to deliver a healthy baby and mother, performing a C-section then cancer removal the same day. Northwestern Medicine. Better.
Uno's Pizza, handcrafted the Chicago way with the finest ingredients and buttery pie-like crust. Your taste buds will thank you. Find Uno's at your favorite local Chicagoland grocery store. It's called Uno's for a reason.
Packers show blitz. They are bringing extras on. Caleb Williams here on third down. Leaves the pocket, rolling to the near side. Going to tuck it and go. 35 to the 40. Steps out of bounds. Outside the 45 in front of the Bears bench. He scrambles for the first down. Needed 8 and got a whole heck of a lot more than that. And Caleb took matters into his own hands in a collapsing pocket and ran left. 2-point stance, tight end, left side of the line, snap. Caleb on the keeper. Caleb knifes through the Packers and gets the first down. Subtle movements lead to big plays, and that's a big one on 3rd and short. Pickup of 4. First down, Bears at the Packer 39.
Peggy and Jurko postgame, ESPN Chicago.
Throughout much of the game, Caleb Williams was the Bears' leading rusher until DeAndre Swift's 39-yard touchdown run. Williams finishes with 9 carries for 70 yards, a 7.8 yards per carry average. And Caleb Williams' rushing ability is our Bears' advantage of the game, which is brought to you by Advantage Chevy Dealerships, home of the 60-minute guarantee. They'll have you driving off in your next Chevy in 60 minutes or less, or they will make your first car payment. We'll ask you later on in the show what the Bears' advantage of the game was, decided by Jurko and myself. And if you call in with the correct answer, your name will be put in as an entry to win a 2-year lease on a 2025 Chevy Equinox. You have to be 18 or older, from Illinois only. Official contest rules at ESPNChicagoContest.com. The Bears did do a nice job offensively, making some adjustments, helping Caleb Williams in being decisive, getting the ball out quickly, getting into a bit of a rhythm as well, but it just wasn't enough as their 19 points, 2 touchdowns on the ground against the Packers. Not enough. Still waiting for Caleb Williams to throw a passing touchdown, and it'll be a month since he has done that when the Vikings come to Soldier Field next week. So, positives coming out of this game, Jurko?
I think the positives are that Caleb Williams played better. Your offensive line's getting a little bit healthier, thank heavens. I think they really had a chance to compete with the 2 tackles being back. I don't think they're doing enough defensively. Unfortunately, you watch a team like Pittsburgh, whose defense they've got to rely upon. Well, they didn't give up but 15 points to get today, 15 or 16, which is why they're victorious with 18 on the tally. When your offense struggles, when your offense has an inability to score against better teams, the defenses really have to step up and really has to play well. They only gave up 20 points. You would think that giving up only 20 points gives you a real chance to win a game. Unfortunately for the Chicago Bears team, it does not. So they're not playing well enough. They're not playing like they were last year. I thought last year they played better defensively. Sorry, but they did.
One of the top run-stopping defenses in the NFL, and now they're not.
Yeah, and so this team has been an opportune team. They did have a takeaway today. They did have a defensive stop in the red zone today. Just not enough. Just not enough. You're not putting enough points on the board, and if you don't put enough points on the board, you've got to play defense perfectly, and unfortunately for the Bears, they're not playing perfect defense. They're giving up just enough points to get you beat.
They are going into this game. They were the top red zone defense. They allowed Green Bay to score 3 on 5 trips to the red zone today. Jaquan Brisker placed on IR earlier this week. Elijah Hicks playing in his place definitely had some issues. They went after Elijah Hicks, gave up some really big pass plays as well that set them up.
Well, it was the one play where he looked like he adjusted and came over on the ball that Watson took down to like the 9-yard line. He was there, just lost sight of the football. When you lose sight of the football, the receiver's looking at the ball. Guess who's going to end up catching it? Then he ends up tripping down. He's trying to adjust. He ends up tripping down. I think that's the play where he ended up getting banged up and hurt on. You know, Gordon comes over a little bit late, and he's in trail, but over the top was 22 Hicks. And you can't lose sight of the ball. You lose sight of the ball. The receiver sees it. He makes a play for it. You don't get a chance to make a play for it.
The Bears knew they had an opportunity defensively against the Packers. Jordan Love, 8 straight games throwing an interception. Terrell Smith picks off his first of the year early in the game. The Bears were able to score answering after that, but not much after that. You thought they might have been able to get a little bit more off of them. Unfortunately, they were not. Let's keep going on the phone lines. Gene has been holding on in Dallas. Hello, Gene. Gene, dancing machine. Hello, Gene.
Thank you, Gene.
Once, twice, sold. Let's go to George in Oswego. Hello, George.
Hey, Jurk, Peggy, great show. Appreciate the honesty. We need some accountability, not just from the coach color coding everything. I'm at church at 10:30 this morning, and my priest says, well, is anybody thinking about what's going on before they end life? Because the Bears aren't going to do it if you're going to be around for a while. Talk about a gut punch in a Catholic church. And we have a coach that just keeps saying, I love the effort. Well, I wouldn't be employed if the results were just from good effort. I never got an A in school because I had good effort. When is he going to step up and say the players have to play? The coaches, fine, we got rid of one. When is he going to get fired up? At least Ditka flat out said, we may not win another game this year.
Well, you know what's interesting, George, about that, and Jurk, you can chime in, obviously, but when you hear the offensive players say that Shane Waldron didn't make them accountable enough and they didn't really respond to him as well because he didn't coach them hard enough, you might have a point that maybe the defensive players need to be coached harder as well.
Quite possibly. The question on the screen was, why doesn't Eberflus ever get mad? Well, he doesn't want to ruin his hair. I mean, obviously. That's why he doesn't get upset at anybody. That's why he doesn't run his fingers through his hair. His hair's perfect, so that's the way he wants to keep it. Listen, they lost. That's all I know. 11 in a row. He's responsible for 7 of those losses to the Packers. 7 in a row for Eberflus himself as the individual. That's what he's responsible for. That's what goes on his moniker. He'll be the head coach of the Chicago Bears who never beat the Packers while he was here.
The longest streak now in this series history. Ever for Green Bay, winning 11 straight. Matt LaFleur is now 11-0 against the Bears, 6-0 at Soldier Field, 5-0 against Matt Eberflus. The Bears have not figured out a way to win the North.
5. Sorry, it's the third year for Eberflus. My fault.
Right.
5 losses. Thank you.
They have not won the North and never gave it back, as Ryan Poles so famously said in his opening remarks.
They have definitely not done that by any stretch of the imagination.
They continue their 3-game homestand next week with the Vikings coming to town. The Vikings won their game today. Everyone in the NFC North was victorious except the Bears today. The Lions beat Jacksonville. They are now 9-1. The Vikings beat the Titans. They are now 8-2. Packers beating the Bears become 7-3 in the NFC North, and the Bears are the bottom feeders at 4-6, hosting the Vikings next week.
I've also looked at future draft positions. Where would the Bears draft now?
You're looking at that already?
Well, you've got no choice. The season's over for the Chicago Bears. Now, it may not be over, but it's over, unfortunately. They might see him in the hunt, but they're really not in the hunt, so we're not even going to
First game of the second half of the season.
Yep, we're not going to pretend like they're in the hunt of anything. So I'm being factual. I've gone to the playoff picture to take a look, Peggy, at exactly where they're at. Unfortunately for us, the AFC's got a bunch of lousy teams. They've got 4 2-win teams, 2 3-win teams, and a handful of 4-win teams. So they're the ones that'll be picking first next year. But the Bears are 12th right now in playoffs. 12th, where they were 7th when they were 4-2. They're the final team that was going to make the playoffs at 4-2. Now you've got 4 straight losses on the books. You're 4-6. You have now dropped to 12th. And believe it or not, you've got the 13th pick in the draft now.
The Bears have a head coach on the hot seat. They have a franchise quarterback that is caught in the rubble of disarray around him. They have a 4-game losing streak, an offense that was broken and had not scored a touchdown in 25 possessions until today. They have a new offensive coordinator. They just lost to their rivals on a blocked field goal in the final 3 seconds of the game. But besides that,
everything's rosy.
How was the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
Yeah, everything's rosy. Never mind my husband's brains. That's what Mrs. Lincoln said.
You didn't have to actually spell it out.
I'm there for you, though.
We'll be right back.
Talk to Jackie.
Yes. Oh, God.
What would you do with $1 million? Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana wants to give you the chance to find out in our $1 million giveaway. Earn July 1st through December 27th. Then join us each Friday for your chance to win a grand finale spot for a 1 in 500 chance to be the guaranteed winner of $1 million. The $1 million giveaway, exclusively at Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana. Must be 21. See Players Club for complete details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Bosch tools are built for workers. Bosch's powerful hammer drill has kickback control to help work go more smoothly when you need it. The 2-in-1 impact driver and wrench quickly changes between bits and sockets, so you only need one tool instead of two. And the X-Lock grinder switches wheels up to 5 times faster than standard grinders. Bosch tools take care of the job and you. Bosch Tools, what hard workers deserve. Learn more at BoschTools.com.
Property managers and GCs use FinishingChicago.com's contractors for finishes and protective coatings in the most iconic venues, interior spaces, and essential infrastructure. Our painters apply industry-leading commercial and industrial finishes inside and out, so your biggest assets always put their best square footage forward. FinishingChicago.com has your free list of painting, wall covering, glass systems, drywall finishing, and signage contractors. For a great finish, start with FinishingChicago.com.
Hi, it's Peggy Kaczynski. You've heard me talk about how the village of Bolingbrook continues to rank as one of the most livable communities in Illinois. Here's Mayor Mary Alexander Basta to tell you herself.
Thanks, Peggy. With excellent schools, beautiful parks, and a wide range of shopping and dining options, I invite you to come and experience the warmth and friendliness of Bolingbrook for yourself.
If you're looking to elevate your future and the future of your family, visit BeBolingbrook.com to learn more.
Join us and be Bolingbrook.
Ready for a luxurious and reliable driving experience? Visit Bill Jacobs Auto Group for premium brands like BMW, Volkswagen, Mini, Jaguar, and Land Rover. Enjoy our Bill Jacobs Total Mile Protection Warranty, a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty on every new car. Trust us to provide the peace of mind you deserve. Start your journey at BillJacobs.com. At Bill Jacobs, the cars bring you in, and the experience brings you back.
LoadSmart offers you a fresh canvas, empowering you to take control of your supply chain. Instantly price, book, and ship with guaranteed capacity tailored to your unique needs. LoadSmart's automated solutions eliminate the chaos of manual processes, giving you the freedom to design a more efficient, cost-effective operation. Whether it's FTL, LTL, PTL, expedited, or drayage,
LoadSmart helps you shape your logistics your way.
Join the likes of Amazon Freight, Cabot Creamery, and Scott's Miracle Grow to move more with less at LoadSmart.com/ESPN.
Your company can save money by becoming more energy efficient. In fact, the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program can help your business find up to 35% in energy savings, resulting in lower energy costs. At ComEd, we're not just moving toward a clean energy future. We're powering the future of your business. Sign up for your free facility assessment at ComEd.com/poweringbiz. Terms and conditions apply. Offers are subject to change. Actual savings will vary by customer's usage and rate. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is funded in compliance with state law.
This is Jeff Joniak here to tell you about Ego Power Plus. Ego is the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Take it from me. I love the 22-inch Select Cut self-propelled lawnmower. It cuts my lawn in a single charge. Ego delivers the power and performance of gas, but without the noise, fuss, or fumes. Ego's patented 56-volt arc lithium battery technology is the heart and soul of the system and what powers game-changing torque needed for demanding jobs. Learn more at egopowerplus.com. Ego, power beyond belief.
This is the Bears Radio Network on the flagship home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Toss left, Swift, hit the gas, 35, a little razzle-dazzle to the 20, to the 10, 5, end zone, touchdown Bears, out of toss left, DeAndre Swift strikes swiftly, 39-yard touchdown run, Bears are back in front here in Soldier Field.
Hear Bears games on the ESPN Chicago app.
Peggy and Jurko back with you on the Chicago Bears postgame show, taking your phone calls at 312-332-3776. Not sure what to take out of this game, except there were some positives to come out with Caleb Williams and the offense and the defense and the team playing with heart. But once again, finding a new way to win, or to lose, I should say. 25 years ago and 2 weeks ago was when Brian Robinson blocked the field goal to beat the Packers. Ryan Longwell's attempt in the final seconds. 25 years later now, the football gods said, nope, not this time, Chicago. Not this time.
Yeah. If the football gods are Bears players, that's who gave it up. Field goal team. Kicker.
Did you get a good look at the replay? What happened?
I thought the snap was good. It was put down. I thought the kick was low. They blew over the left guard. Whoever the left guard was just got blown up. He was getting pushed back, and it was the penetration they got on him. And there was just there was a sea of hands up in that general area where he was kicking the ball, and they got to it. If you can get the line of demarcation, or that block line, if you can get some penetration, yard and a half, two, the way the angles work where you're kicking the field goal up, the closer you get to the kicker, the less you got to jump. You just get the hands up, and there's a chance you can come down, you can affect the football. And then with the penetration that they got, they had a chance to block the thing. And from 46 yards, you've got to put a little bit of a oomph on this thing. You can't just chip it in there and think you're going to get away with it. You're going to have to drive that football some. And the minute he decided he wanted to drive it some, it's like you're on a tee. You can hit a beautiful high fade, or you're against the wind, you're into the breeze, and you want to go ahead and you want to hood the club a little bit and get yourself a wind cheater out there.
Right.
Well, he decided that, hey, I'm going to need to drive this thing a little bit. It probably came off his foot a little bit lower than it usually is at that point, and it ends up getting blocked. Hands go up in the air. They deflect it. It's over. The Bears' dreams, over. The Bears' dreams for playoffs, over. Everything's over. Welcome to the Chicago Bears 2024. It's over. It's all over.
So much hope in the beginning of this season with the acquisitions they made coming into the season, and you can't help but wonder how much it's going to hurt the future of this team.
Always remember, tailgates are fun. So you can go to tailgate, you can have a good time. They're fun. Drink and eat plenty before you get into the stadium, so you don't have to buy anything that's really grotesquely overpriced. So just enjoy everything at your car. And when you watch the Bears and the Bears start to lose the rest of the way out, you can go back to your car and you can go ahead and get some vittles and get some highway pops and have yourself a good time.
Out to Chicago Ridge, Ahmad has been hanging on. Hello, Ahmad.
Hey, Peggy, Jurko, how are you?
But we've been better.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And I was livid. I was on hold for a minute. I just wanted to let loose, but now I'm calm. This guy, Matt Eberflus, is a complete and utter moron. You had 30 seconds, at least over 20 seconds left on the clock, one timeout. Even Brady said, why don't you just drive down the field? You got a 33-year-old kicker. The guy doesn't have a strong leg, but he does have slight accuracy. Man, they've been running it down. They've been having a good running game against the Packers. Just run it down. Do a couple plays. Get it closer to field goal range for them. You know it's Chicago. You know it's the Windy City, too, on top of that. But this just falls on – this all trickles up to the top with George McCaskey and the McCaskey family. They are inept. This guy should go to his mom and say, hey, Mom, I've been running this team for 2 decades, and I've disgraced them long enough. This is a storied franchise. They're not going to go anywhere with them at the helm. You had a chance to hire Jim Harbaugh, and look what he's done with the Chargers. First year, and it's been year 3 in a rebuild, and it's been a complete and utter failure. They're a joke. The McCaskies are a joke.
Ahmad, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Just let it go. Let it go. They also had a chance to hire Sean Payton when they hired Eberflus. Sean Payton was the name that was out there. And he doesn't complain about much. All he does is try to win games out there. I know why everybody loves Harbaugh. He was an unsuccessful quarterback here with the Chicago Bears. I get why you're infatuated with him, why you love him. And he does a pretty good job coaching football teams, too.
David is in Berwyn. Hello, David.
Hey, how you doing?
Great. What's going on, kid?
Yeah, I just wanted to start off. that Christian Watson reception was not a completed pass. It hit the ground, and the ball was bobbling on the floor. But, aside from that, Thomas Brown, he really gave the offense some life. We were clicking today, but it really boils down to Matt Eberflus' incompetence. At the end of the game, we could have ran it one more time. After that run, we call a timeout, run it one more time, give some extra yardage for our kicker, and he doesn't do it. He lets the clock run out. It's total incompetence. We need to get rid of this guy. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir, but I'm gonna let you guys talk.
Yeah, end of the year. That's your hopes. The next coach to get fired looks like it's going to be my buddy Doug Peterson after the 52-6 trouncing they took today at the hands of the Detroit Lions.
That was ugly.
Yeah,
listen,
not Eberflus though.
Of everything going into this season, the one thing that they could not mess up was Caleb Williams. That was the one thing they absolutely, positively could not mess up. And they did. They did. And they're trying to fix it and get him back on track. I don't know how. You know what bothers me, Jurk? I don't know how you can self-inflict the problems within a team and then congratulate the head coach for righting the ship. And if he rights the ship again this year, what is the penalty he pays for putting the ship in troubled waters in the first place?
There's no righting the ship. That's your problem. Anybody that doesn't recognize what's ahead for the Chicago Bears, with the way they're playing now, without them building the confidence of the quarterback, without the offensive line being able to gel, some want to blame injuries, go ahead and blame injuries, but without that offensive line not being able to gel, and that included the beginning of the season where the offensive line was still struggling, it's fait accompli. The writing is on the wall. Everybody knows what's going to happen at the end of the year because you're going into troubled waters right now.
Right.
This is not an F1 rapid where you're just you're having cocktails in your hands and your feet are in the river. You're getting to Class 5 rapids, where it's going to be tumultuous. It is not going to be pretty as you go on. And the further they get away from 500, the worse it's going to be for the Chicago Bears. And at the end of the day, you're looking at the players and the players for not performing. They had a little coup d'etat up there on their offensive coordinator. You got rid of him. Now, what are your excuses? What are your excuses going to be now that you got rid of the guy you wanted to get rid of?
All right.
You're out. Now the focus is on you, the players. Perform.
It's all about effort. That's exactly what we learned from Smashburger because effort equals flavor. Whether it's their burgers or shakes, rewards or guest service, you can bet your bottom bun that they've thought about how much they can smash it. Smashburger. Like today we had the jalapeno burgers.
Yeah, jalapenos.
It was delicious. Smashburger, every bite a better burger. Our thanks to our friends at Smashburger. Unfortunately, we were hoping we would be talking about a smashing success for the Bears, pulling off something that they were in a position to do once again. Multiple opportunities to win games this season in which they did not in the final seconds. This was a new one with a blocked field goal to lose it against the Green Bay Packers. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we still have more to come, including finding the great and also the verdict. All of that and more on the Bears postgame show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Right now at Old National, we have a $450 checking bonus.
Sign me up. But why is that hockey player standing there?
I'm here for the checking.
Well, for a bonus that big, bring on the checking!
Sir, no need to brace yourself against the wall.
It's bank checking.
I knew that.
Earn up to a $450 bonus when you open a checking account and complete qualifying activities within 90 days of account opening. Another reason to get old. Old National, where relationships and results matter. Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through October 31st, 2024. Visit oldnational.com/checking.
Need health insurance? It's open enrollment for the Get Covered Illinois Marketplace. Our Get Covered Illinois navigators will help you enroll in a quality health plan, and you could qualify for financial help. 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Essential benefits cover prescription drugs, emergency care, health screenings, and more. Visit getcoveredillinois.gov to enroll in a plan by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st.
So you call your virtual insurance company to ask a simple question about your policy, but now you're on hold listening to this music while you wait and wait. Auto Owners works with local independent agents who tailor coverage to meet your needs and pick up the phone when you call, because you shouldn't be on hold so long that you memorize the music. That's simple human sense.
Ask LaFonte Insurance Services in Lombard if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Your heart. You'd never think of purposely stopping it. I'm Tara, and when my team at Northwestern Memorial Hospital found a malformation in my brain, my cardiologist and neurosurgeon said the only way to save me was to stop my heart, which they did, 12 times.
Nationally ranked for neurology and neurosurgery by U.S. News & World Report, Tara's team collaborated to temporarily stop blood flow, allowing a catheter to reach her brain and permanently obliterate the malformation. Northwestern Medicine. Better.
Dear football fans, Toyota's leading the drive to victory. The Corolla and all-hybrid Camry make big plays with style and efficiency. RAV4 is a versatile game changer. Highlander's got room for your whole squad. And the rugged Tacoma and Tundra control the line of scrimmage. They've all got available all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive too. Visit Toyota.com or head to your local Toyota dealership. Toyota, let's go places.
Hi, this is Dave Musial, owner of Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Do you have a plumbing emergency? Call Four Seasons. An electrical emergency? Call Four Seasons. A heating or cooling emergency? Call Four Seasons. Same-day hot water tank installation needed? Call Four Seasons. Need a whole home generator? Call Four Seasons. We guarantee same-day installation on all heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. And no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine says.
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
Hey Bears fans, Steinhoffel's is a proud partner of the Chicago Bears. Steinhoffel's newest furniture and mattress superstore is now open in Schaumburg on Gulf Road, with stores in Vernon Hills, Crystal Lake, Downers Grove, Harwood Heights, Schaumburg, and coming soon to Orland Park. Steinhoffel's is Chicagoland's furniture and mattress leader with the largest selection to fit every style and budget, and is 100% employee owned. Shop in-store and online at steinhoffels.com.
Chicagoland's favorite locally made chocolate chip cookie and one of America's top-selling soft-baked cookies makes Matt's #1 on everybody's shopping list.
Motion behind him. That's Jaden Reed. The handoff. Jacobs brought down, a drag tackle. They got bodies on him, and they put him down to the ground. T.J. Edwards in on the stop. Loss of a yard. 3rd and 11 for Green Bay. Dobbs inside the numbers, being tightly covered by Smith. Handoff now on a run to the right. Jaden Reed in trouble. Down he goes. Kyler Gordon, man on the scene, puts him down behind the line of scrimmage. That's a loss of 5.
Coach Eberflus tomorrow at 8:20 on ESPN Chicago.
And our finding the great is the Bears' rushing defense, stopping one of the best rushing offenses in the NFL. The Packers came in as a top 10 team on the ground, 3rd in rushing yards per game, averaging 154 yards per game. The Bears held them to 106 yards. They were 4th in the NFL in averaging just under 5 yards per play. And today they held them to 4.2 yards per run. So the Bears' rushing defense is our finding the great, because in sports, success is about a team effort. In the Bears' defense, their rush defense was all about a team effort today. The same is true for your hair. At Great Clips, they save your haircut details in clip notes, so every member of the highly skilled team knows exactly how to create your signature look. Download their app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great. The rushing defense did their job today. Unfortunately, the Bears have done a really nice job of not allowing opponents to score a lot of points at Soldier Field. The problem is the offense still cannot score points. They can't get in the end zone. They were able to break out of their slump of not having scored in the last 9 quarters, but they finally did. They got 2 rushing touchdowns, DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson, but it was not enough to go along with 2 field goals today against the Green Bay Packers, and the Bears lose 2019. They drop now to 4-6 on the season.
Bad.
Yeah, bad.
Listen, if they kick the field goal, we're over here. We're feeling good about ourselves. They're at 5-5, and we're like, yeah, nice job. Hey, they hung in there the whole day. And you can talk whatever positive you would have if they would have won the game, but they did not win the game. So, unfortunately, you've got to talk about what they didn't do. I anticipate the Chicago Bears coming out and trying to win football games and doing things correctly. But when you lose, you got to find out why you lost. And that's where we sit here today. 4-6. This was a great effort they mustered up today against the Green Bay Packers. But it fell short. It fell terribly short in the worst kind of way. And guess what? Now you've got to analyze what the hell's going on.
Kaylin Kaler posted a tweet on X saying that she just talked to several players on the Packers field goal block unit. All of them said that they noticed that Cairo Santos kicked with a low trajectory when doing film study. They expected the Bears to run another play, which they thought, in their opinion, would have made it more difficult to block. Exactly what you had said.
Well, I mean, it's only if you gain 15 yards. Yeah, you gain 3 yards. It's not making it more difficult to block. If you gain 15, then it becomes more difficult to block. Then he can go ahead and put a higher, kick the ball with a little bit more height. At 46 yards, he's got to drive it. At 31 yards, he doesn't have to drive it quite as much.
Are you ready to be a camp counselor here, to speak to our youth about special teams here?
I've got no problems.
Let's bring Ryan in here. Ryan is from German Valley, and he has a question about the whole field goal and how it got blocked. Hi, Ryan. Welcome into the show.
Hi. I'm 12 years old, and I'm a diehard Bears fan, and I just can't understand why we keep losing, and I don't get why. And I have an opinion of why. Do you guys think that it was the line's fault that they got the block, or was it just the kicker's fault that he didn't get the kick high enough?
Both. I think it was both. I think the kicker kicked it low, and then the offensive line allowed some penetration, specifically over the left guard, the one right next to the center. I think they both failed the Chicago Bears today.
Does that make sense, Ryan?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. That's what we're here for, to help the future Bears fans of America.
And guten Tag, young man from German Valley. I'm sure they're speaking Deutsch over there. Nothing wrong with that.
Ryan, thank you, buddy. We appreciate you holding on the phone lines as well. The only thing I know is my dad came home from Germany. The Air National Guard was in Germany, and they had a trip there, a refueling trip, and he came back with a sign. And forever, I had a sign in my room that said, "Smoken verboten."
I don't know what that means.
No smoking.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know why my dad thought that was, why he needed to put that in my room.
Well, he wanted to let you know.
Yeah.
Because you were a troublemaker as a youth.
You
told me that.
As a youth.
Yeah, you told me because you were the only girl. You were a problem child.
No, I had 2 sisters.
Okay.
Yeah.
The oldest?
I was the middle.
Middle? Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. I wasn't.
Yeah, they forgot about you at some point. Just you can do what you wanted to do.
Let's go out to Phoenix, Arizona. Hi, Chris.
Chris.
Hi, Chris. You're up next. Go ahead.
Yeah, hey, guys. Sorry, I'm in the middle of literally fixing the washer right now, so if it doesn't make it any worse.
Yeah, check out that Fetzer valve. It might have busted on you.
Yeah, it was the drain pump.
Oh, boy.
And then the seal. So if it makes it any worse, my wife's a Packers fan. It's our anniversary. So this is pretty brutal, but it just kind of keeps happening. But Jurko, I was curious on the defensive side. So we finally blitzed. Obviously, big play at the end. We finally blitzed, but it seemed like we didn't blitz. We only brought 4 all game. No pressure in Love's face. So I was just curious if you kind of thought the same thing or what.
Yeah, there really wasn't a lot of pressure, and they didn't dedicate a lot of guys to getting after the quarterback today until later on when they felt like they had to press it, when they had to press it a little bit. But It was just still, with all that coverage that you had back there were still receivers running wide open on the Chicago Bears. So I wonder
they just sit in the zone. They know what to do. Oh, how do ours not? I don't understand. Every other team in the league has guys running wide open.
Yeah, I don't know how it happens. I just know that it seems to afflict the Chicago Bears often.
It's just history repeats itself. We've been together 9 years, and here we are again. So
yeah,
thanks, guys. Love the show.
Chris, good luck with the washer. Good luck with your wife being a Packer fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go out to Denver real quick. Hi, Isaac.
Isaac, talk to us.
Welcome from Denver, Colorado. Yeah, we're loving, I should say, they love Sean Payton out here right now, what he's doing with Bo Nix.
Oh, yeah.
It is nice, but, oh, man.
He's a whisperer.
This is, I was thinking as soon as the Bears got the ball, I'm like, something bad is going to happen. And when they made it down to be able to attempt a field goal, I was pretty impressed. I was like, all right, well, maybe we got something different. But then as soon as they lined up, I just thought, something's going to happen. We can't beat the Packers. And I go back to that adage Jurko used to say back when the Bears weren't even winning games, and he said, you got to find a way to win. Well, now the Bears just got to find a way to beat the Packers, and for some reason they can't. Like the defense and the offense, yeah, they both played okay, but not good enough to win. I mean, the red zone defense was great, but the defense overall I thought was kind of like average. It's just they just can't make the plays, enough of the plays. And I don't know if changing the coach, is that going to do it, or if it's just the players we have just aren't good enough. But somehow we got to find a way to get over this Packers hump, because this just is brutal.
I mean, unfortunately, during the week, I called for the way they had been playing. Now, this does make me feel a little bit better the way I've seen Caleb Williams play today. But I called during the week that the best-case scenario for the Bears in the final 8 is 2-6. And that's only because of what we had seen in the previous 3 weeks. I'm like, I'm not as rosy. But the way I had the Bears position this year was to play a lot better in the first 9 games and then go 4-4 in the toughest 8 games they had, to go 4-4. But the way they're playing now, with this 1-game pop that they got, and they did play a little bit better today. There was a 1-game pop, but it's hard to sustain a 1-game pop like that with the changes that were made when you don't win. You have to win to maintain a level of excitement and to maintain a level of, hey, we're going to come into this and we got something to play for. You're 4-6 now, 2 games below. You're starting to head to the bottom of the ocean. You're draining down the whirlpool, the sink. You're draining down the sink right now, and it's not a good thing.
The other gut punch today, it was Devin Hester's Hall of Fame celebration day at halftime.
Oh, wonderful!
And then they lose.
Did everybody get in the hall today?
On a special teams play at the end of the game.
That's the way it works.
Congratulations to the greatest special teamer in Bears history. We lost on a special teams play at the end of the game.
Yep, a salute.
Let's take a break. We have to come back and find out what your verdict is, because
we've got one.
You need to go back and put on your robe and get your gavel and give us a verdict on this
one. Get my
one.
shower cap.
Your shower
Yeah, I'm going to put a robe on. I'm going to put a shower cap on.
Oh, good God. Please don't do that. We'll be right back.
With 3 locations to serve Chicagoland, Advantage Chevrolet gives you so much more. Visit and see the amazing inventory and savings at Advantage Chevrolet Bridgeview. And Advantage Chevrolet values your time. They'll have you in your new Chevy in less than 60 minutes, or they'll make your first car payment. That's right. Drive off in your new Chevy in less than 60 minutes, or they will make your first car payment. Visit AdvantageChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Must mention offer upon arrival before negotiation. Restrictions apply. Ask dealer for details.
What would you do with $1 million? Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana wants to give you the chance to find out in our $1 million giveaway. Earn July 1st through December 27th. Then join us each Friday for your chance to win a grand finale spot for a 1 in 500 chance to be the guaranteed winner of $1 million. The $1 million giveaway, exclusively at Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana. Must be 21. See Players Club for complete details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
In football, success is about team effort, and the same is true for your hair. At Great Clips, they save your haircut details in clip notes, so every member of the highly skilled team knows exactly how to create your signature look. And with our easy-to-use app, you can check in from anywhere and get a ready next text when you're up next for a cut. It's the confidence of a great haircut, delivered by a team you trust. Download our app today. Great clips. It's gonna be great.
Attention, Chicago. Wayfair's Black Friday preview sale is here, online and in person. Right now, get up to 70% off everything you need for the season ahead. Save on furniture and bedding, cookware and holiday decor, and tons more. Now's the time to score big on finds to feast. Get festive and get comfortable all season long. Shop early Black Friday deals now at the Wayfair store at Edens Plaza and Wilmette, or online at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
You have heard me talk about how businesses are elevating their game in Bolingbrook. Here's Mayor Mary Alexander Basta to tell you herself.
Thanks, Peggy. Bolingbrook remains the most desirable southwest suburban location to start or expand your business. I invite you to learn how welcoming we are to the many businesses who recently have made Bolingbrook their home.
So if you're looking to elevate your future and the future of your business, visit bebolingbrook.com to learn more.
Join us and be Bolingbrook.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right. And naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at titosvodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Hi, this is Jeff Joniak here to tell you about Ego Outdoor Power Equipment. Did you know that all Ego 56-volt batteries are universal? I love that my lawnmower, string trimmer, and blower all share the same powerful 56-volt Ego Arc lithium battery. With over 90 Ego tools to choose from, you can build a powerful collection. Plus, Ego delivers the power of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. That's why Ego is the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Learn more at egopowerplus.com.
LoadSmart offers you a fresh canvas, empowering you to take control of your supply chain. Instantly price, book, and ship with guaranteed capacity tailored to your unique needs. LoadSmart's automated solutions eliminate the chaos of manual processes, giving you the freedom to design a more efficient, cost-effective operation. Whether it's FTL, LTL, PTL, expedited, or drayage, LoadSmart helps you shape your logistics your way. Join the likes of Amazon Freight, Cabot Creamery, and Scott's Miracle Grow to move more with less at loadsmart.com/ESPN.
Advantage Chevrolet Hodgkins, your connection to your new Chevy. Drive home in less than 60 minutes or they'll make your first car payment. See them in Hodgkins or visit AdvantageChevrolet.com.
Restrictions apply. Ask dealer for details.
Kyler Gordon sneaking up to the line of scrimmage. Is he coming on the blitz? He's not. Snap back to Love. 4-man rush. Throws. Tall. Overthrow. Interception. At the goal line and up with it left. It's Terrell Smith. And he's brought down outside the 20. They turn over Jordan Love without the pressure of a blitz. Overthrew his man and it landed in the hands of Terrell Smith. Bears football.
Postgame wrap-up is next with Jason McKee, Pat the Designer, and Jeff Meller.
A heartbreaker at Soldier Field as fans on the lakefront saw the Bears return from a crazy week at Hallis Hall in which the offensive coordinator was fired and Thomas Brown was named the new play caller. And they played with heart for all but the final 3 seconds of the game, in which they lose a heartbreaker once again in the final seconds. A game that was winnable. They lose it on a blocked game-winning field goal attempt in the final seconds, and the Packers win for the 11th straight time in this series, the longest rivalry in the National Football League. We need a verdict.
Well, I've got it for you. The verdict is brought to you by our good friends at Verdoliak Law Group. $2.4 million of Verdoliak Law Group wins again for their clients. That's right. The Verdoliak Law Group recovered $2.4 million for a client who was injured in a train accident. If you're injured, make sure to call the Verdoliak Law Group. I find the Bears guilty of gross malfeasance.
Oh, and that would be for what?
That would be for allowing the fans to get excited for what they had going out on the field today, for nearly ripping their hearts out with 2 sacks in a row and finding a way to convert on third and 19. Put the ball all the way down inside field goal range, and then they found a way to screw it up at the end of the day. And how'd they do it? Basic blocking. basic blocking, and a field goal kicker that needs to drive the ball a little bit lower. Very accurate, but very low, and it was blocked. And that's the way it crumbled for the Chicago Bears today. Gross malfeasance out of their field goal troop to cause the Bears to lose a football game.
What do you expect next week now with the Vikings coming to town?
Well, you're at home, so it gives you a chance at victory. But as per usual, whenever they play a quality team, the Chicago Bears will find a way to screw it up. They will. Remember now, they controlled the ball. They were plus in the turnover margin. And that's like an 87% win. Those two stats together, 87% win. I'm going to tell you the team that's there the most in losing these types of games is the Chicago Bears. I think over the last 10 years, this team has been able to do it on a number of different occasions to the point where they're the only ones in the opposite side of the bracket, you know? They're in the 13% all the time. They control the ball. They win a turnover margin. They lose the game. I mean, that's uncanny. But that's what they do.
Bears, again, lost another offensive lineman in this game. Left guard Ryan Bates, who started in place of Tevin Jenkins, who was unable to play with his ankle injury. He left the game, Bates did, evaluated for a concussion in the first quarter. They are down to Jake Curhan, who is an offensive tackle playing now on the inside for this team. What was not mentioned is the Packers lost cornerback Jair Alexander. He had been dealing with a knee issue. He sat out the entire second half, and they were unable to take advantage that much of Alexander being out of the game. And that was unfortunate, but doesn't get easy now. The Vikings beat the Titans today. They are now 8-2 as they come to town. Lions just walloped the Jacksonville Jaguars today. They are 9-1 in the NFC North. Packers sitting just a game behind the Vikings. And the NFC North continues to show that 3 out of the 4 teams are some of very, very good football teams in the National Football League. So, hey, now would be a good time for you to call in if you remember who our advantage of the game was. You have an opportunity to get your name in the hopper as we give away that car lease for the Chevy Equinox later on this season. Give us a call now at 312-332-3776 if you remember what Jurko and I said was the advantage of the game. Our thanks go out to our executive producer, Eric Ostrowski, Kendra Smith, and Jack McGrath once again. Our broadcast crew, Jeff Joniak, Tom Thayer, and Jason McKee calling the game down on the field at Soldier Field. Head coach Matt Eberflus and Caleb Williams for our post-game interviews. Next game is Sunday, 12 o'clock noon, kickoff at Soldier Field against the 8-2 Minnesota Vikings. Keep it tuned to our flagship station, ESPN 1000, and the ESPN Chicago app for the always entertaining Matt Eberflus interview scheduled for tomorrow morning on Cap and J Hood, if the phone lines are clear. And as always, the latest Bears news all week long on our flagship station, ESPN 1000, and the ESPN 1000 app. For Jurko, I'm Peggy. You've been listening to the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network. As we say goodbye to our affiliates, we welcome the rest of you to stand by. We have the postgame show coming up next.
UI Health believes everyone deserves exceptional care. Their care teams are leaders in managing and treating complex diseases and conditions, utilizing the latest innovations and minimally invasive surgery. UI Health prioritizes personalized care from diagnosis through precision treatment. UI Health develops the care plan that's right for you. UI Health, exceptional care for you. Learn more at uihealth.care.
Property managers and GCs use FinishingChicago.com's contractors for finishes and protective coatings in the most iconic venues, interior spaces, and essential infrastructure. Our painters apply industry-leading commercial and industrial finishes inside and out, so your biggest assets always put their best square footage forward. FinishingChicago.com has your free list of painting, wall covering, glass systems, drywall finishing, and signage contractors. For a great finish, start with FinishingChicago.com.
Need health insurance? It's open enrollment for the Get Covered Illinois Marketplace. Our Get Covered Illinois Navigators will help you enroll in a quality health plan, and you could qualify for financial help. 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Essential benefits cover prescription drugs, emergency care, health screenings, and more. Visit getcoveredillinois.gov to enroll in a plan by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st.
Hey Bears fans, Steinhoffel's is a proud partner of the Chicago Bears. Steinhoffel's newest 100,000 square foot furniture and mattress superstore is opening soon in Orland Park at Orland Park Place. With stores in Vernon Hills, Crystal Lake, Downers Grove, Hartwood Heights, Schaumburg, and opening soon in Orland Park, Steinhoffel's is Chicagoland's furniture and mattress leader with the largest selection to fit every style and budget and is 100% employee owned. Shop in-store and online at steinhoffels.com.
Your company can save money by becoming more energy efficient. In fact, the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program can help your business find up to 35% in energy savings, resulting in lower energy costs. At ComEd, we're not just moving toward a clean energy future. We're powering the future of your business. Sign up for your free facility assessment at ComEd.com/poweringbiz. Terms and conditions apply. Offers are subject to change. Actual savings will vary by customer's usage and rate. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is funded in compliance with state law.
$2.4 million. The Verdoliak Law Group wins again for their clients. That's right. The Verdoliak Law Group recovered $2.4 million for a client who was injured in a train accident. If you're injured, make sure to call the Verdoliak Law Group. Playing professional football and being on the radio for many years, I've had the opportunity to endorse many products and companies. But this is special. The Verdoliak Law Group, owned by close friends, has been helping people for 60 years. They've even taken care of my neighbors and close friends. I truly believe in them. When you need a doctor, you look for the experience and the skill. The same goes when you're choosing a lawyer. The Verdoliak Law Group has recovered over $9 billion for clients and served more than 40,000 people. Whether it's personal injury, auto or truck accidents, wrongful death, or medical malpractice, call my friends at Verdoliak Law Group. The Verdoliak Law Group has done great for my friends and neighbors. They will do great for you, too. Call them today at 844-4VLG-LAW.
Whatever the adventure, there's a BMW engineered to take it on. The X3 delivers a striking design with agile performance. The 100% electric i4 packed with pure electric energy. Or the plug-in hybrid X5, an impressive versatile SUV granting full control on every journey. Choose what powers your next adventure during the BMW Road Home Sales event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in for exceptional offers through December 2nd. Visit BMWUSA.com for details.
When you think beef, think Papa Charlie's, Chicago's favorite Italian beef specialist for 3 decades. It's Chicago's favorite. For your next tailgate, pick up Papa Charlie's Italian beef today at your favorite local Chicagoland retailer.
You've been listening to Bears football on the Bears Radio Network. Here comes the Chicago Bears Radio Network is brought to you in part by Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, by Miller Lite, and by Great Clips. This is Bears football on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Thanks for listening to the Chicago Bears Radio Network. This is the new home of the Bears.
Welcome back to Bears Postgame. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff ESPN Chicago.
Packers 20, Bears 19. Scott Daly on the ball. Taylor will extend his right hand on cue from Cairo Santos. South end zone upright. Snap. Placement. It is blocked by the Green Bay Packers. They got the penetration and they blocked the kick. And they will survive and leave with an 11th consecutive win over the Bears. Crusher. 20-19. Green Bay the win. To go to 7-3, the Bears fall to 4-6. Haven't seen a replay. Not sure that I want to.
No, you did not, Jeff Joniak. The final call heard right here on your home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN 1000. Welcome on into the post-game show. I'm Jeff Meller along with Jason McKee, who was on the sidelines watching that. He just showed us the video from his phone of the blocked kick. that ultimately leads to a 11th straight loss for the Bears in their biggest rivalry matchup against the Packers. This one, of course, occurred on the lakefront. Packers win it 20-19. Offensively, we saw, I thought, a pretty solid performance. Nice job by Thomas Brown, putting Caleb Williams in good positions today to succeed. Thought Caleb Williams played a lot more comfortably. Looked like he was just having fun out there.
Yep.
You know, I do think, too, he ran with a purpose. When he scrambled guys,
Yep.
he wasn't just scrambling to stay alive inside the pocket, which I think is something he takes pride in, and which in college was something he got praised for, keeping his eyes up and not necessarily breaking the pocket, something that it's like, you know, it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde here in the city, because we saw Justin Fields break the pocket over and over for these big explosive runs time after time the last few years, and everybody was so excited about it, but you also got the backlash. Hey, man, you can't win consistently just doing that. You need to be able to play from the pocket, and I thought Caleb overdid that a little bit. Today, when he broke the pocket, he kept his eyes up, but he also took when there was first downs to be had, he took it. That, to me, was encouraging, but ultimately I know Bears fans are going to be dejected because you lost yet again to the Packers in a game that you should have won.
Yeah, and to your point, just the positives and going back to you breaking down Caleb's performance today, it goes back to, you know, I talked with him after the game and I asked him, you know, what was different with Thomas Brown at the helm at the OC, you know, calling the plays, you know, throughout practice, the preparation leading into the game today. And he said that a lot of things that normally would have been overlooked, they redid it at practice. So if something wasn't done right in practice, somebody had a missed assignment, they redid it right then and there. They didn't say, okay, we're going to get it on Sunday, because you're not going to get it on Sunday. And we've seen that all year, you know. So I think that was one of the main points of emphasis. You talked about him, you know, running with purpose, you know, being intentional when he tucked that ball and ran. You know, we've seen, you know, here throughout the season, he would take it and scramble around in the circle, take a sack, lose yards. But, you know, he was more, okay, that's not there. I'm taking it. I'm going down here right now. But I also like the way that Thomas Brown got him involved in the running game with the quarterback read, the read zone, which was very efficient. You saw he converted on, you know, some fourth downs on that as well. It really puts the defense on their heels. But just the overall, you know, play calling by Thomas, I think it was, you know, the quick game was there, something we haven't seen. A lot of intermediate routes, you know, in games past, we've seen, you know, Caleb patting the ball. The routes are deep, and it just didn't make sense. Like, the route concepts didn't correlate with the situation or the down and distance. I mean, it's 3rd and 8, but you got guys running a 15-yard route. Just didn't make sense. And that ball was coming out. We saw him getting the ball out there, like we've seen in the past, to DJ and Keenan out there on the perimeter, trying to use their speed and space, get the ball in your playmaker's hands. But the one thing that we saw was those guys out there on the edge making those blocks, right? We saw last week guys, you know, the DJ Moore 3rd and 3. You know, you saw Keenan didn't make that block last week. Well, this week those guys were making those blocks. And I think that's just a testament to the energy that Thomas Brown brought to this offense. And I think guys, you can see the guys believed in him and what he was calling today. And they really believed in the game plan. They went out there and had a balanced attack.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I can only deal in knowns with this team. That's what I have to do the rest of the season to be sane enough to come on here and stay in the right mindset for the rest of the season. The knowns that I understand are that, and this is a big one for me, my quarterback can lead us down the field on a drive in the most pressured moments and get the job done. You have a quarterback that has a rookie wide receiver on his team as well that he can trust in those biggest moments to get you down the field for an opportunity to win the game. Those are big things to take away from this game if you're a Bears fan right here. I can't deal in the negatives because the negatives are things that we've known. Guess what? Hey, J-Mac, why do you have to run for 70 yards today? Probably because the offensive line wasn't doing a perfect job blocking for him. I knew that already. Hey, you missed that last field goal. Matt Pryor gets blown up, and all of a sudden the man's standing there with his hand up. Oh, Matt Pryor got blown up? I've seen that already this season. A lot of calls. I'm sure we're going to get a ton of calls today, and me and Jeff have been debating it all day. Matt Eberflus being too conservative. I don't have as big a problem with going for the field goal there. I think a lot of teams should be able to trust that a kicker can knock through a 45-yard field goal in 2024 in the NFL, but we didn't get the job done today. But you're going to call in and tell me Matt Eberflus is conservative? I knew that already. I'm coming into this season with a lot of things that I already knew about the team, but I'm getting answers on players that we did have questions on the last 3 weeks. I had questions on, okay, can Caleb deal with this pressure? Can he deal with what's coming at him on a consistent basis? Is he going to be able to handle a play caller change and how the play caller is utilizing him now. He looks like he's able to handle that. Is Rome Odunze going to be able to step up in the moments I need him most? He was able to do that. Those are things to me that I think as a Bears fan, yes, you come away dejected from this game. It's a loss to the Packers. It sucks. It's always going to suck. It's always going to hurt. It's going to hurt more than ever, especially seeing as how you just gave them their first divisional win. But if we're being realistic about this, the things that suck, we've been saying sucked for 10 weeks now. The things that are annoying to us, the things that haven't gotten fixed, are the things we've been talking about for 2.5 seasons, 3 seasons, not being fixed. I'm not surprised by Matt Eberflus being conservative, Jeff.
Not listen, you shouldn't be. However, this is where I'm hoping that Ryan Poles is really taking note, because, look, it was nice to see that Thomas Brown, the play calling, to your point about, being detail-oriented in practice, something that we heard from the players almost immediately on Tuesday, Keenan Allen specifically, calling out Shane Waldron in the aftermath, saying, listen, he's too nice a guy. We weren't held accountable. We heard Mercedes Lewis say that, week 3 into the season. We want to be coached hard. That's fine. That ultimately, though, was not good for this organization.
Yeah, right.
I do think, though, as I'm watching this unfold, it's unfortunate because it really puts the Bears in a spot now where, listen, the playoffs, we were talking about it last week, seemed like a far cry from reality, just based on the schedule they had upcoming. After today, I'm sorry.
You're talking about the draft.
That's the harsh reality. But what I'm saying here is that hopefully I'm hoping that Ryan Poles truly assesses this and says, look, listen, exactly what Matt Eberflus did today, settling for a 46-yard field goal attempt. If I do that with Matt Eberflus, I will be settling with my head coach. Again, I really like listening to Thomas Brown speak on Wednesday versus listening to Matt Eberflus try and communicate whatever he was trying to communicate with the decision process. It's just a stark difference. And so you can understand why players would come out today, play with purpose and intention, especially offensively under Thomas Brown, because, all right, it's a new sheriff in town this week, but he's not the guy who oversees everything. It still falls on Matt Eberflus, and I was disappointed that they settled for it because, again, I get back to know your personnel.
Yes.
Cairo Santos is an extremely accurate kicker who has, when you come to leg strength, he's, at the very least at the bottom third, maybe the bottom quartile of the NFL when it comes to leg strength. So when you're asking him to kick a 46-yarder, he's probably going to He's probably going to drive it hard, but that means it's going to be a lower trajectory, and ultimately that's what did them in. You had time. It wasn't going to be too much to just hand the ball off, try and pick up a couple extra yards. You never know. You might bust it for 10 or 15.
Plus, I mean, it's I always say I'm not in that huddle anymore, so I don't know. Like, make sure you get it where make sure you place the ball where he wants the ball. Ideally in that situation, you want to get it in the middle, make it easier kick, but I'm assuming he wanted it from the left hash because that's where they kicked it from. It's a lot of things.
It was true.
Yeah,
it was straight.
I mean, there's a lot of things. But it goes back to
straight into Brooks's hand.
Yeah, I mean, it's just tough. In critical situations and in key moments, we've seen time and time again. Regardless, we've seen the same outcome. We've seen a Hail Mary. We've seen a botch fullback, a handoff in the Commanders game. We saw a speed option in the Colts game. You saw a letdown in Arizona, and then we see what happens today. It is tough, and I really feel, for those guys in the locker room, being one of those guys who's been a part of tough losses. I know the time and work that they put in, and I sound like a broken record because I feel like I said this last week and the week before and the week before, but it's
Four
true.
straight losses will do that to you,
it's true. Yeah, you try to find a silver lining in it, and the one thing that I did see today, and it goes kind of back to your point, Pat. You saw guys, right? You're talking about you're learning, like you're trying to see what guys can do. You talked about Rome Odunze, right? Yeah. You talk about guys really, they went out and made plays today, right? There were some calls that were maybe not good calls, but you saw guys, elevate the call. You saw guys break a tackle when DeAndre Swift's in the back. You saw him break a tackle and take that play, instead of it being a tackle for loss, he turned it into a positive gain, right? You saw Caleb, like we said.
We saw fights from the team.
You saw fight. You saw intention. You saw energy.
Yeah.
Something that we haven't seen the past few weeks. So it's good to see that Thomas Brown could inject that into guys. And I guess the silver lining moving forward is, can we continue to see the offense developed, in particular our young guys, Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, and which this offense will be continually built around, for years to come.
And listen, that's my question.
Real quick before you, because I do want to let people hear from Matt Eberflus why he chose not to run before that field goal attempt.
They were loading the box there, so you could say you could do that for sure, maybe get a couple more yards, but you also risk, fumbling and different things there. We felt where we were, if we're at the 36 or 35, you're definitely doing that because you want to get it inside there. I felt very confident where we were at that time with the wind and where we were on the field.
So he admitted, they didn't want to necessarily risk a fumble, especially because they were loading up the box. And this is where I feel like you're playing a little bit scared and conservative. I understand it's always possible, but ball security in that instance should be paramount from a back who gets the ball in that situation. You would expect they might not listen. They're going to go down more easily rather than rip, but. You never quite know what that a couple extra yards could mean.
I'm not mad at that spot, and I'm probably in the minority here today because we're looking for a reason to be upset that we lost to the Packers. What do? You played the game right. I see coaches do that all the time. I see coaches go I've watched Matt LaFleur do that, who we say is probably the class of this division as far as head coaches. He will absolutely go.
Dan Campbell wants to speak with you.
Dan Campbell will attack.
I like LaFleur, but Dan Campbell wants a word with you, Pat.
I mean, listen,
I don't want to derail.
Anyway. But no, my point in all of it is, though, you see coaches do this all the time. Hey, I trust my players. Heck, Matt LaFleur did it to a fault at times when he had the rookie kicker, right? There were times where you say, do we need to rely on this guy in this moment? At a certain point, players got to make plays. And if you don't have the players that can make plays on the field, running an extra play ain't going to change that. Yeah. Running an extra play doesn't change Matt Pryor getting absolutely moved out of the way so that the Packers defender can get his hand up on it. That's something that happens before you get to this point in the season.
I see what you're saying too, and I get it. It's we can go back and say yes. We should have got the ball closer. You had a timeout. I think it was 35 seconds.
35 seconds left, and I agree. So you could have run another play.
At the end of the day, it just comes down to you actually going out there and winning a game. And I love Kairos. I really do. I love him. He's been clutch. He's been consistent. That's my guy. That's my boy. And he's going to tell you, I got to make the kick.
Yeah.
I got to make the kick. Yeah. He's going to tell you, I've got to make the kick, and it's just going out there, just sealing the deal. Like the hardest thing for a team, right, that's had losses on losses, right, that hasn't had a lot of success, right, and I've dealt with it this year. It's with my team, my high school team. Sometimes you got to learn how to win because you do everything to lose a game. We see that, right? We saw signs of that early on in this game, right? You saw the offense moving, right, moving efficiently. Then you saw a pre-snap penalty. Then you saw DJ Moore in motion, get a false start penalty because he's in motion. He's creeping towards the line of scrimmage. But the one thing that we saw today, like those mistakes they made, they were able to overcome those mistakes. In games past, those mistakes, right, that offense would have imploded. So it's learning how to win. And sometimes you got to go through tough times like this to learn how to win. A lot of young guys on this team, you got to learn how to win and put games away when you have that opportunity.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. I'll get back to, though, the Packers, throw a red zone interception, terrible throw by Jordan Love. The Bears make the play. That's a missed opportunity for the Packers. Yeah. They also bog down. They go for it on fourth down inside the 5 and end up getting stuffed. And so ultimately, there were plenty of the Bears had some things go their way in this game. And I guess I'll get back to, I feel like you're not optimizing your team's opportunity to win by trying to take those couple extra yards because you never know what could happen there in that moment. So that's where and it's too many times I see Matt Eberflus not optimizing the team's chances of winning, and that's where it's frustrating because, again, I think you can start to build some confidence if you can pull out one of these games, but I just think there's things being left on the table by the head coach. I'm sure this is going to be a big point of confrontation for a lot of folks out there. 312-332-3776. We're hanging out with you. We'll be here till 7 o'clock tonight talking a Bears loss to the Packers on a heartbreaking blocked field goal at Soldier Field right here on your home of the Bears, ESPN 1000.
This is the new home of the Bears. Hear head coach Matt Eberflus exclusive on Cap and J Hood tomorrow morning at 8:20 on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Hey guys, it's Sylvie from my friends at Window Nation. Don't be left out in the cold. Call my friends at Window Nation today. I used to walk around my kitchen. The floors were freezing. It's because I had drafty windows. I'd get my monthly ComEd bill. It was skyrocketing. That's because I had drafty windows. So I called 866-90-NATION, and guess what? No more drafty windows. And I saved a ton of money doing it. Right now, you can do the same. Save 50% off all style windows. Plus, you'll have no interest payments for 5 full years. So call today, 866-90-NATION, 866-90-NATION. You're going to open up your energy bills after you get your new insulated windows from Window Nation, and they're going to go down. Or visit windownation.com. You have to act fast. The sale runs through November 30th. Call Window Nation today at 866-90-NATION or windownation.com and let them know that Sylvie sent you.
Ooh, we got a question. Brian W. asks, it's the holiday season and I'm looking for deals. Is Xfinity having a Black Friday sale?
Well, Brian, our best deals of the year are here. Get iPhone 16 Pro on us. Just ask us how. Plus, you can also get fast, reliable Xfinity Internet with a line of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited for a great low price.
So don't wait. Bring home a new iPhone 16 Pro built for Apple Intelligence.
And connect to reliable 5G and Wi-Fi speeds up to a gig on Xfinity Mobile.
That's a big deal.
More like a gig deal.
Now through December 3rd, ask how to get the new iPhone 16 Pro on us with an unlimited Plus line. Plus, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and an unlimited mobile line together for only $35 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com/Black Friday sale to learn more. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Gig speeds available via hotspots to Xfinity Mobile customers only. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Actual internet speeds and data thresholds may vary.
Property managers and GCs use FinishingChicago.com's contractors for finishes and protective coatings in the most iconic venues, interior spaces, and essential infrastructure. Our painters apply industry-leading commercial and industrial finishes inside and out, so your biggest assets always put their best square footage forward. FinishingChicago.com has your free list of painting, wall covering, glass systems, drywall finishing, and signage contractors. For a great finish, start with FinishingChicago.com.
That's right, it's Pat the Designer. Miller Lite has asked me to judge the best bear caves in Chicagoland, and each week I'm bringing Miller Lite and bear swag to the best designed bear caves in town. And the best will win 2 tickets to watch the Bears game at Lambeau and tailgate in style at the Tundra Trio. So send me your pictures or videos. Go to MillerLiteFanCave.com to submit. This is going to be so much fun. Brought to you by Miller Lite, official beer of the Chicago Bears. Go to MillerLiteFanCave.com right now.
Finding the right employee for your company is tough. One wrong hire can be a major setback. You're not alone if you face this. A recent survey by Robert Half shows nearly half of hiring managers readily admit to making a bad hire. Luckily, there's a solution. With Robert Half's specialized recruiter's experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can have the right skilled professional in place quickly. We understand what it takes to build winning teams because at Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
FX's English teacher. Every single one of these essays is so bad.
An F? What is this?
With grades like this, I'm gonna have to hit the corner, sir.
From executive producers of What We Do in the Shadows.
Who's running the school? Is it us or is it them? Them.
Go sit next to Tiffany.
She told me it was offensive to learn Mandarin because you're not Japanese.
FX's English teacher is now streaming on Hulu. All new Mondays on FX.
Want to buy a vehicle in 60 minutes or less? Purchase your next vehicle in 60 minutes or less at Advantage Chevrolet Bridgeview, or your first car payment is on them. And every new Chevy comes with the Advantage Plus program. Together, let's drive. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
The new home of the Bears.
Well, today's Next Gen Stats powered by AWS. I mean, our friends at Next Gen, it's not just been with the arm of Caleb Williams throwing it quicker than ever, but his legs, 49 yards, right? Just with the scrambling, it's killed Green Bay.
Great job running, job getting the ball out of his hands. He's had 5 sacks on first down this year. You never want to take a sack on first down. So The answer is, how do we change the scheme in order to make sure the ball's coming out of his hands? We're not going from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 16. We're just going to try to stay ahead, keep our third downs manageable. And you alluded to the fact is the best they've been on third down. It's 1st and 2nd down execution. Play design leads to more manageable third down, leads to more time of possession. Really has factored so much into the score being 19-14 at this point.
A lot of good analysis there on Fox from Tom Brady, Kevin Burkhardt. We talked about Caleb Williams running with a purpose in the first segment here. He gained 70 yards on 9 carries today. He also was very efficient in the passing game, 23 of 31, 231 yards, no interceptions, had a 95 quarterback rating today. So good work from Caleb all around. And he showed you a lot of those special throws as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, in big moments throughout the game. And I thought in particular, you heard Tom Brady, obviously the GOAT, talk about how the Bears did a good job of making third downs manageable. And that's one of those, you know, whenever someone quotes the third down, what are we doing on third down? Oftentimes what's neglected is what type of down and distance is it on third, right? Like
it's having a plan.
Yeah, because listen, you can draw it up, you know, but anytime it's 3rd and 7 or more, you know, you're up against it.
It's like your offensive philosophy, right? What's your formula, right, on the drive? So is on first down, what is your goal on first down? My goal on first down is, you know, I want to get at least, you know, between my first and second downs, I want to get 6 yards, right? Because then third down, I'm always in third and manageable. So on first down, if I get 3 yards, and second down is like my adjuster down. So I know I at least want to get 3 yards in second down. So that way I'm in third and manageable. You know what I'm saying? But it's also depends on that coordinator's philosophy.
Absolutely.
And that's something that, you know, it's been in question. We haven't seen, you know, with Waldron, it was like, okay, what is your philosophy? What is your formula to keep drives going? You know, like we saw, you know, situationally, it's third and shorter, third and manageable. And, you know, they're bringing pressure with man coverage, but you're running deep routes, and they're bringing one more that you can block, Caleb, to get sacked. You know what I mean? That was some of the things that I saw from Waldron. But what I saw today is with Thomas Brown is, you know, getting Caleb in rhythm early. You saw a lot of boots and stuff like that. You saw a lot of quick game. You saw a lot of intermediate routes that tied together with the situation. 3rd and 4. You saw a hitch there. You saw a quick slant. You even saw a crossing route by Rome against man coverage. It was Rome, you know, converted on third down in that situation. Well, and it shows there were 9 of 16 in third down efficiency. And then, like you said, Pat, during the break, 100% on fourth down. They were 3 for 3. So that's the type of formula offensively that can help you win games. You know, and then now go ahead, Pat.
And this felt different, not to cut you off, but this felt different because, Jeff, you know how this goes, right? You get a new offensive coordinator in there, everybody's excited. Sure. You get a little pop, you get a little bit more energy.
That was apparent.
And you win the game, right? And I think there was that aspect of it as well. But this felt like versus a good defense, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. Right. And I'm calling simple plays.
You're quoting Thomas Brown. He said that specifically this week. I'm not reinventing the wheel.
You're calling simple plays that your playmakers can make work. And that's why I think in this situation, not to say that, you know, I go into next week thinking, oh, we've got our offensive coordinator or maybe a possible head coaching candidate we may have to talk about in the future. But I go into next week going, I know you should be able to replicate that game plan. I know that even versus a blitzing defense, you should be able to still go out there and dump off to DeAndre Swift, quick screen passes. Hey, if we're setting the standard that you need to block outside, how many of those plays worked 2 weeks ago that we saw work today?
You get guys had energy and they got excited about a game plan that made sense. Yes. You can get excited about that. The guys ain't dumb. They watch film. They understand what they're seeing. Yeah. And if you have a game plan that doesn't coincide with what they saw on film, you're going to start questioning things.
No doubt about it.
You know what I mean? And you saw guys that had confidence, they got energy because it was a game plan they felt like if they executed, they could win this game. Yeah. And it goes back to, you hear Mercedes Lewis, like you talked about, Jeff, you know, saying the differences with Waldron and even Keenan Allen saying the same thing, like he was letting things slide. He wasn't correct. There was no correction.
Called him soft. Let's call it what it is. Called him soft.
Like these guys are grown men. Don't get me wrong, they're professionals, but they want correction. They want an offensive coordinator that's going to hold them to a high standard.
Absolutely.
That's going to hold them accountable because if I make a mistake, and I know I'm wrong, and the OC doesn't say anything. He don't care.
And the thing is, it's very easy to slip into bad habits if you don't correct them. 312-332-3776. Let's rifle through a bunch of calls here because everybody wants to get in. We'll start with Ed, who's in Joliet. What's going on, Ed?
What's happening?
Hey, great to be with you, Jeff and Jason, and I appreciate you letting me talk to you as I thought I would be talking with Peggy and Jurko, and I waited over an hour and 20-some minutes.
Well, Ed, you'll settle for us. What do you got? What did you like about today?
Well, I had so many good points to say to them because after the show, they said so many things that I had wanted to say. So I'm going to say just a couple of things. One, the play of that 60-yard pass was so easy to not call that it was a catch because it did hit the ground and he did not have control. And then when he started to get control, he picked it back up from the ball on the ground and brought it to his chest. So I don't think the officials wanted the Bears to win because that was a huge play for the Packers.
So Christian Watson coming up with that catch, which was reviewed.
It was, and I see what he's saying.
I don't like the challenge.
His hands was under the ball. The tip of the ball did hit the ground, but he had control. The biggest thing is in that situation, and it's tough. It happens. Jalen Johnson, you slip. You touch him down. If you don't slip, you touch him down right there. You know, it's tough. It happens. I mean, it's guys are going to slip and fall, and like we got the best playing surface in the league, but that's just situationally, like we talked about, finding ways to win game, right? Finding ways to win a game. That's the way you touch them down. Now they don't go down there and score.
I personally thought it was a catch. I thought it would. Listen, had it been called incomplete on the field,
catch. I think you would have kept it.
It would have. Yeah, that was just a decision. Whatever they called on the field, it was going to stand. And like you said, like it touched the ground, but his hands were still underneath it as it was touching the ground, and there was no good angle that showed you that it was moving.
I hate the challenge on that. That was my biggest problem with that. And listen, they were consistent, right? The catch that Keenan Allen had, where I'm like, that's a clear catch, but a little bit of the ball touches the ground. They called that a catch as well.
The biggest thing on that play, I have to go back and watch the film, but how long, if I'm not mistaken, Jordan Love scrambled to the right, back to his left to Christian Watson, right? So it's a matter of how much time did he have to throw. Because you hear Coach Washington talk about it all the time, right? The rush has to coincide with the coverage.
Yes.
And I think that was man coverage right there, right? So if I'm not mistaken, I got to go back and watch it. But like the rush has got to get home. And there were several times in which Jordan Love made some plays because he had time to sit in the pocket.
Yes.
And he made some key throws down the field because the rush wasn't there.
Would you say that's more on the, not to say it's one or the other, right? Jalen Johnson, stay with your guy, don't fall down. It happens, right? But would you say that's more, you had enough coverage time. Now I'm looking at the defensive line and saying that's on you. You not getting home is why that's a completion.
Yeah, I think it is on the D line because this defense, right? This style of defense is predicated, right? The success of this defense is predicated on you being able to get pressure with your front four. You don't get pressure with your front four, then you got to start bringing secondary pressure. You got to bring a linebacker and third level pressure. You got to bring a safety down to get pressure, and that's when you become exploited. But if you have a front four that can consistently get pressure on this defensive line, then the coverage is like we talked about, it coincides with the rush. So it's a lot of things. And a couple times, I mean, you know, Jordan Love's back there moonlighting with the ball and the rush is not getting there. And then he you know, throws the ball for a big completion. Like that rush has to get there.
I will say, like, it's hard. Christian Watson made a hell of a play on that one. You know, and sometimes the other team is just going to make a play and you have to, react and just bounce back from it. Let's go on out to Dave, who's in Wisconsin. What's going on, Dave?
Dave, how long have you been home?
Hi, how are you doing?
What's going on, Dave?
Yep, very heartbroken and sad to lose this game. But what happened at the end that we did not block that one player off 54 that we could have won the game? Where was the trouble there?
I mean, listen, it's the same trouble you've been having all season, Dave. Matt Pryor getting blown up, is that new? Well, is that different? Is that, you know what I mean? Like,
you talking about on the field goal?
I think he's talking about on the field goal,
it's
right?
It's a little kick because he's trying to get some distance on it, like Jeff has been saying. You know,
low
Kyra's
trajectory.
Accurate. Trying to the kick's coming out low because you're trying to gain distance because Kairos doesn't have the strongest leg. He's very accurate, but at the same time, field goal you got to protect, and you get inside pressure right there on the interior.
Yes,
you get a low kick. D-line, they're gonna put their hands up.
They know. They know in that moment, and they know
this
too.
Is literally, there's a screenshot here of it. It's just like Packers players as Bears players are on the other side of it. You got to make the blocks up front. It makes it a lot harder on your kicker if your guys can't stop the pressure.
There's no doubt about it, but that's not something that's new. The left side has been kind of what teams have been exploiting on the 100%. Bears field goal and extra point attempts. You know, sometimes you got to go with the talent you have.
And it's tough on field goal. You know, Coach Tobe, our old special teams coordinator,
one of the all-time
best.
best.
I used to be the wing, and he said, hey, you know what? You got to be a stop sign. And like we got momentum, we have no momentum to be able to sustain that rush. You've got to be a stop sign. So I've got to have somewhat of a foundation and know that they're going to come off the ball, you know, try to push me back into the kicker and then jump and put their hands up. So you got to be a better stop sign right there. And
tough spot, too, because you know they're coming with extra juice on that one final push. Like, they know the game's on the line and their only chance is to block it.
But to your point, Jeff, now you go back to what you've been saying the whole show. Get it a little closer so that way that the kick doesn't have to be so low. And you already know how accurate Cairo Santo is the closer we get.
It sucks, man. It sucks. It's one of those
trying to find a silver lining,
and that's what it is. It's one of those where you literally just like. But at the end of the day, he should be able to make a 46-yard field. You know what I mean? Like it's. You go back. I guess really it goes back all the way up, right? Do you have the personnel to execute what you're trying to execute? And it feels like on a consistent basis you don't.
I would say this one stings too because Cairo Santos has been money from 46 every single time until this moment.
He's been confident. He even ran out there confidently. He was, I was standing right next to him as he's going through his warm-ups, and he's been confident. I mean, he's always kicking. You know, some kickers, they just stand there and watch the game. They're not, constantly staying warm. He's always kicking. Every 5 minutes, he's always kicking, and he ran out there, and I'm thinking it's money. He runs out there, that ball's on the left hash. I'm like, yes, it's over. I'm getting ready to celebrate and scream, and then what happened?
I honestly wasn't concerned about the accuracy. I'm pretty sure he would have been straight through the uprights. I was concerned about the block, and it unfortunately came to fruition. Let's try Dave, who's in Sedona, Arizona. What's going on, Dave?
Dave.
Hey, Dave, you there?
Hey, guys, how are you?
There he is. What's up, Dave?
How you doing?
Sorry, I live in Sedona, Arizona, and after the game, I was so freaking pissed off, I had to take a 2-hour hike.
Okay.
I feel you, Dave. I feel you.
Hey, guys, Eberflus my God, this guy was coaching not to lose at the end of the game. The whole game, their game plan was awesome. They were going for it on fourth down. They were playing to win. At the end, they were playing not to lose, and they lost. And it comes down to obviously coaching, but at the end of the day, my God, you know as well as I do, the game's won in the trenches.
Definitely.
If we can't get a rush on Love, and the only time he threw an interception was on a blitz, and you give him all the time in the world, you put so much pressure on that secondary, they're going to find a way to get open.
Yeah.
And and then on the offensive line, same thing. Now I'll give credit to the offensive coordinator. Somebody finally figured out that they needed to treat Williams without an offensive line like Dan Marino. Get rid of the ball fast.
Yeah, I think that definitely was a point of emphasis, Dave. J-Mac, I mean, you could tell that Caleb, and listen, I know there was a report from Jay Glazer that earlier today before the game kicked off, so you may not have seen it because you were probably on the sidelines already doing your work, but Jay Glazer said that Caleb Williams addressed the team this week and said that he basically took some responsibility for his poor play costing Shane Waldron his job, and then Jay Glazer reported that impressed a lot of veteran players on the Bears roster. They knew it was a heartfelt admission coming from Caleb.
Yeah, I asked him that when I interviewed him after the game. I said, the quick game was there, intermediate routes was there. I said, was that a big emphasis on the game plan? He said, yes. A lot of times this year, we didn't see him take that easy deposit, that check down.
Yeah.
And we saw that time and time again. We saw 4th and 3, Roschon Johnson. He throws a check down to Roschon. Roschon converts on first down.
Mm-hmm.
He also threw a nice check down to Keenan Allen, right? I think it was 3rd and short. That converted on first down. So it's with him learning and developing. I also asked him, I said, through 10 games, I said, through 10 games of your time in the NFL, what is the biggest takeaway? What is one of the biggest things that you have learned? And he said it's the possessions. I don't get a lot of possessions.
I heard that. Yeah.
Which is for a quarterback, that's development, understanding that, I can't go out here.
They're precious.
I can't go out here and moonlight and being inefficient on one possession because that possession is the one that will be highlighted, which will cost us the game or can help us win a game. So he's starting to understand that I can't just run around back here like in college. I've got to be efficient. I've got to play within the system. I got to take what the defense gives me, and we saw that a lot today, which extended drive. So that's growth. That's one positive
great point.
you can take away from this game.
Listen, I come out of this game, and it's not just this game.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams has put you in a position to win just about outside. I guess the Arizona game is probably the worst.
Last week was bad, too.
But outside, last week,
the Patriots.
Last 2 weeks. But outside of those two, from a rookie quarterback, you've seen him in the fourth quarter put you in positions to win the game.
He's doing
3
things
times.
that
Indianapolis, you had it. Washington, you had it. This game, you had it. Having that from a rookie is not normal.
But it goes back to, I get it. Shane Waldron's not here, and we've only heard reports of what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's having that coach, it's having that voice, it's having that accountability to say, you know what, Caleb, when we're watching film, take the check down.
Yes.
Take the check down, take the layup, take the hitch, take the quick slant. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That has to be instilled constantly when you're watching meetings. Otherwise, he's not learning, he's not developing. And we've had a hard time developing quarterbacks here, right? Because has that accountability always been there? Do you have that coach in place that's going to hold that player to a high standard regardless of where he was taken in the draft, regardless of what his potential is? You got to develop him. That's your job.
And I can't wait to ask Thomas Brown this week about, there were times where I'm like, okay, I still see Caleb audibling. I still see Caleb going to something he feels comfortable with.
Yeah.
And then there were other times where it was, 3rd and 3. Roshan Johnson's in the game. That football's getting run.
the play.
I wonder if he took away some of that audible power that we saw Caleb Williams have, where he relied on his arm too much, and then it ended up just being a Roshan play. Hey, we're giving this ball to Roshan no matter what type of situation. I think that, not to say you simplified the game for Caleb, because it didn't feel like that.
I think
to
they
me
did,
today.
though. I suspect that they took a little off his plate and said, hey, let's simplify. Let's get back to doing what you do well.
Yeah.
And once we get there and we feel better and we have a game like they did today, where offensively they generated some yardage, they scored some touchdowns, you feel better about yourself. Now, moving forward, you can start to add a little more back if you want.
I think more of what they did was stopped him from adding more to his plate that needed to be added. That's where I think, right? We talk about that 3rd and 3 play where he throws the pass to DJ, and it's like you just run the ball forward there. That's an easy first down. It should be for Roshan Johnson. But Caleb Williams had times, where he throws the first down pass to DJ Moore. You're adding things to your plate that didn't need to be on there. We're sitting there talking about it like, just run it. Just be simple in that moment. I think that they kind of stopped him from overeating, shall we say.
Yeah, I think today we saw more of him playing within the scheme, playing within the system. In the previous weeks, we saw him just trying to do much on his own, trying to win the game by himself.
Trying to be the system.
And, even in the drive that set up the kick by Kairos, right? The first 3rd and long play, was 3rd and 20, I think it was.
3rd and 19.
3rd and 19, yes. You see him get pressure off the right side. He ducks under the pressure. He rolls out to his right.
Yeah.
And I'm in the back of the end zone. He throws a rope to Roma.
Absolute laser.
Yeah.
That's when it's time. That's the time when you got to use what God gave you.
Yep.
To be able to scramble to your right, throw the ball back across to your left on a rope to hit Romo Dunze right between the 1 and the 5.
Yes.
And then you come back and hit Keenan Allen.
On the 4th and 4, was it?
Exactly. Like that. It's playing within the system and just knowing that, Caleb, you know what? There's times you're going to have to use that Calebism and roll out and be able to do things that guys can't do, which made you the number 1 pick.
And being able to overcome it. I mean, straight off of a
But there's also
sack.
times when Caleb, like if you're the coach, hey, Caleb, take the check down.
Yeah.
You know, it's in rhythm. Hey, this is situationally, it's 3rd and 4. We know they're going man coverage. If that corner's playing press coverage, but he's playing outside, we got a quick slant, that ball should be out on your 3rd step. Don't play around, Caleb. Ball's out. You see what I'm saying? That's the type of coaching and accountability that you have to have with a young quarterback if you want him to develop into the player you want him to be.
Some positives from today's game, even though, of course, they lose to the Packers, which for a lot of Bears fans is absolutely devastating. And the fashion in which they did certainly doesn't help the situation. But I do wonder, and whenever we finally do hear from Ryan Poles in that press conference setting, I know he spoke with Jeff Joniak on the pregame earlier today, but I'll be curious to hear if he's ever asked or pressed on it, hey, what made you decide to go with Shane Waldron over Thomas Brown? Because, listen, when you hear them speak, one man is clearly comfortable talking to other people, and the other man wasn't.
Yeah.
And this gets back to your point about coaching a young player who has a lot on his shoulders in Caleb Williams, who I do know I think a lot of people have the tendency to want to buddy up to him and they want to make him feel comfortable, but that's a trap you can fall into, right? Like where
I'm not your friend, I'm your coach.
Exactly.
Now, we can have a good relationship, Jeff, but at the same time, I'm your coach, so I've got to hold you accountable.
It's a lot of ways, it's a parent-child type of relationship.
Yes.
And the reality is, you can't be best friends with your children if you're going to be the parent.
I mean, and as a coach too. Look, I've got mouths to feed too. I've got a family. Yeah, I've got to do my job, and that's not just holding the quarterback accountable. That's holding this entire offense accountable. So if I got receivers right, and I've got routes called that are man beaters or whatever, quarters beaters, cover 3 beaters or whatever, and we'll go with man beaters, and my guys aren't getting separation or they're not getting off the line of scrimmage because they're getting pressed and they're getting jammed into the damn sideline. Well, then guess what? We got to address this, guys. Guys, y'all got to man up, and you got to win your one-on-one matchup because Caleb's patting the ball. He's ready to throw, but your back's turned. Yeah. Or you done got jammed into under the Gatorade table because you're not physical enough. Like, that's the accountability that you got to have. Like, it's not – this is the NFL.
Hey, you're a wide receiver. You're not blocking on the wide receiver screen.
Exactly. Hey,
maybe we'll throw out a wide receiver who will.
Right. And another part of the growth that I saw, right, it was 4th and 2, and I'm on the sideline. You see Caleb. He goes over. He looks at Flus. So let's go for it. And they converted. That's when they ran the quarterback, the read. Games past, right, that we've seen this season, that situation, they wouldn't have got it. But you're telling the coach, let's go out there and get it. Well, if I'm trusting you.
Yep.
And I'm going to let you go for it on 4th down. You better get
Make me look good.
Make me
Caleb.
look good. I'm trusting you guys.
Yes.
Offense, make me look good. Offensive line, come off the ball. Offensive line, protect if it's a passing situation. Like, that's where the players have to transcend the call. But that's when your coach is going to trust in the players.
No
but
doubt.
the players have to go out there and execute the play. But it all comes back to, right, the common denominator, accountability. Nobody's above the standard. Nobody's above the expectation. Nobody's above the hits principle. And when you let that standard slip, that accountability is gone forever. Good luck trying to get it back.
Little Mike Tomlin there. The standard is the standard.
The standard is the standard, man.
Little quits principle. But no.
Here, let's take a quick timeout. We got
principle.
Everybody. At least we don't have to go there today with that. Last week was the quits principle, which Pat aptly dubbed. 312-332-3776. We see you guys. Everyone's the lines are jammed, so we'll get after it. Bears lose to the Packers 2019 at Soldier Field. They fall 2-4-6. This is the home of the Bears, ESPN 1000.
When it comes to looking sharp, I don't mess around. That's why I head to White Buffalo Barbershop. These guys aren't just barbers, they're artists. Whether it's a classic cut, a fresh fade, or a hot shave, they do it all with precision, and the vibe is top-notch, blending tradition with a modern twist. At White Buffalo, every cut is as unique as you are, born original, just like you.
White Buffalo Barbershop, born original. Now in LaGrange and Hinsdale. Visit whitebuffalobarbershop.com to book your appointment today.
I seem to be having a hard time tuning to the Bulls game on my TV.
Has trying to watch basketball got you seeing red? Then head out to Anchor Bar in Oswego. Catch all the games live with family and friends. Stop in all this week to find out how you can win tickets to see the Bulls live and in person, all brought to you by Michelob Ultra.
It sure beats trying to watch them using gravity.
Anchor Bar is the home of the original Buffalo Wing with award-winning sauces. This week's feature is Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra reminds you, if you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. If you're thinking about buying a car, before you head to the dealership, visit DuPage Credit Union. DuPage Credit Union's vehicle loan rates start as low as 5.40% APR. For credit costs and terms or to apply, visit DuPageCU.com. That's DuPageCU.com to lock in your vehicle rate for 30 days. By Members' Choice, this financial institution is not federally insured. Members' deposits are privately insured up to $250,000 per account through American Share Insurance. DuPage Credit Union. Banking inspired.
ESPN Chicago's Sports Business Minute, hosted by Danny Acker from Crane Chicago Business, is heard Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and is presented by Chicagoland BMW Centers.
Hey, it's Cap. Do you play sports? Do you snore? Your nose might be the problem from a previous injury. I've been there. But Sinus and Snoring MD got me back in shape, helping me breathe easier and sleep better. They treat me like family, and they'll do the same for you. Visit sinusandsnoringmd.com.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
You're busy enough this season without having to get up on a ladder to clean out your gutters. Whether you're tired of unclogging gutters or don't even know what your gutters look like, it's time for a permanent solution you can depend on with Leaf Filter. For Black Friday, don't miss your last chance to save up to 35% off when you protect your gutters during Leaf Filter's most anticipated sale of the year at leaffilter.com/football. Clogged gutters aren't just a nuisance. They can cause extensive problems like flooding, roof damage, rotting siding, foundation issues, and more. Leaf Filter uses award-winning patented technology to keep out everything but water. Call today to schedule your free gutter inspection and get a no-obligation free estimate. And don't miss out on your last chance of the year to save up to 35% off when you protect your gutters with Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system. Schedule your free inspection at leaffilter.com/football. That's their lowest price of the year, up to 35% off at leaffilter.com/football. See representative for warranty details. Illinois State University offers more than 150 majors, from accounting to zoology, and they're adding new areas of study all the time. Apply today to one of their new programs in engineering, sports communication, or data science, or check out all their offerings at illinoisstate.edu/majors.
Ooh, we got a question. Brian W. asks, it's the holiday season and I'm looking for deals. Is Xfinity having a Black Friday sale?
Well, Brian, our best deals of the year are here. Get iPhone 16 Pro on us. Just ask us how. Plus, you can also get fast, reliable Xfinity internet with a line of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited for a great low price.
So don't wait. Bring home a new iPhone 16 Pro built for Apple Intelligence.
And connect to reliable 5G and Wi-Fi speeds up to a gig on Xfinity Mobile.
That's a big deal.
More like a gig deal.
Now through December 3rd, ask how to get the new iPhone 16 Pro on us with an unlimited Plus line. Plus, get 300 megabit Xfinity internet and an unlimited mobile line together for only $35 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com/Black Friday sale to learn more. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing or auto pay with your bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity internet. Gig speeds available via hotspots to Xfinity Mobile customers only. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Actual internet speeds and data thresholds may vary.
Postgame continues now on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer.
Bears lose at home to the hated Green Bay Packers in crushing fashion. Cairo Santos's game-winning field goal attempt was blocked, and the Packers prevail 20-19 in a game where the offense looked like it had some semblance of coherence, which was nice for once after 2 brutal weeks. And, of course, the Commanders game wasn't great, but at least there were moments in that game. But the last 2 weeks have been abysmal. This week, the Bears put something together offensively where they can actually build on it. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough because the Packers did do quite a bit on the ground. They were having their way running on the Bears. I do think that's something the Bears are going to have to try and find a way to shore up, because I was talking with you guys a little bit in break. Mm-hmm. If Love doesn't throw that red zone interception where they're at, what was it, like the 2-yard line, if he doesn't throw that, it's very possible the Packers are up 14-3, and this game could have gone sideways really quickly on the Bears because they were not able to stop Josh Jacobs in the run game at all today.
And you knew that coming in. I mean, you knew he was a guy who had 20 runs of 10-plus yards. So the explosive runs were there. He averaged 4.8 yards a carry, and he's a guy that can break tackles, and they're going to feature him. And, they've attacked teams in the interior with their running game, the entire year. And he wasn't only effective in the run game, a lot of checkdowns that Jordan Love threw to Josh Jacobs.
So that one pass he caught was ridiculous.
Yeah, it extends drives, you know what I'm saying? So it's you see the dividends that when you take what the defense gives you, you check it down to a playmaker to extend drives, like it pays off, and that's what the good quarterbacks do in this league.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that was a turning point play that I think you put the ball back in the offense's hand and they were able to go out there and make something of it. Mm-hmm. I think that gave them the confidence, right? Because even going down, right, they had a solid drive. You get 3 out of the first drive, and you're like, all right, you know what I mean? We're in the game. We're still competing. We're keeping it close. But I think that was the drive that gave them enough of the confidence to say, yo, this might actually work. We might have something figured out. And that's what I was looking for coming into this. You had to have a game like that. You had to have a drive turn on that's here like that, because building that confidence with Thomas Brown is so key early on, because now it's going to be, this guy knows what he's talking about. This guy knows how to call an offense. This guy understands what he's seeing. The fact that he's up in the booth and he's calling plays down, hey, I want to make sure that I can see everything on the field, so I'm giving you the best chance to be successful. Like, those are things that I think players appreciate in that locker room, and why I think that it was so important to get that early on. And that, I mean, you saw it, right? The rest of the game, it didn't feel like the Bears were struggling to try and figure out what they wanted to do. It felt like they were going out there with a little bit of confidence, a little bit of a swagger. 19 points not enough to win most NFL games. You need to score a little bit more, and there were a couple opportunities to go by the wayside, and that's what makes and breaks this game. But you had your opportunity to win this game because you had a team that, to me, played with the most confidence I've seen them play with probably since the Jacksonville game.
Yeah. Let's try Jordan, who's in Wrigleyville. He's on the post-game show with J Mac, Pat the Designer, Meller. What's up, Jordan?
What's up, Jordan?
Hey, Jordan.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on first off. But I know it was about a half hour ago you guys mentioned, like, Matt LaFleur's top of class at NFC North. But you look at the other 3 coaches, Kevin O'Connell, Matt LaFleur, Dan Campbell, like, they don't make that mistake of not going for that extra play. Like, I know the players have to make the play, but their other coaches are going to put them in the right spot. Mm-hmm. Why don't the Bears ever make mid-season adjustments at the head coaching level? I mean, have they ever done it in the 109-year history?
They
why did they refuse?
They have not, Jordan.
They've never done it, Jordan.
It's a great question. We addressed it a lot last week, and both Pat and I, like, it's for whatever reason, it's a badge of honor for them that they've never.
They kind of dirtied it too, because they've never fired an offensive coordinator midseason before Shane Waldron. So you kind of like took the badge, dropped it in the mud, and then like put it back on your chest. But I don't know.
They just think it's, and on one hand, I can understand, like, what are you really accomplishing, especially if you don't have someone on staff who you think could step in and change the culture a little bit. So I understand that aspect of it, but for whatever reason, the Bears don't like to do it.
Listen, I'll give you this, and I know this is, there's a lot of football left this season. There's a lot that still has to be done this season for this to even be a scenario. But if you feel like a guy who's on your staff, like Thomas Brown, who's been an assistant head coach, maybe is going to get...
He has interviewed for a head coaching position.
He has interviewed for a head coaching position a couple times as well, right? Like, if you feel like maybe he's a guy who you want to see more out of, you don't want to put too much on his plate. He's probably your likely candidate to step in and be the head coach if you fire Matt Eberflus, him or maybe an Eric Washington or something like that.
Are you saying in season?
In season.
Yes.
If you fired Matt Eberflus in season, he's probably your likely choice to take over because he's had that role in some capacity. I think you probably want to see, okay, do we have somebody here who can help this season not be a lost season and not put too much on his plate?
Yeah, I don't think, especially with the way the Bears played today, I don't think we're getting to that position. I think the real question is, will Ryan Poles want to move off of Matt Eberflus at the end of the year? Well, I personally would like to see that because I've seen enough. I don't think you want to go down the road in 2025 with Matt Eberflus as your head coach. I've seen enough. I don't want to get behind the 8 ball yet again. But I'm not sure Ryan Poles feels that way. Yeah. I feel like he's looking for a reason to keep him around, and so that is the question. Let's slip in Matt from Streamwood before we take a quick timeout. What's going on, Matt?
Hey, Miller, Pat, and Mr. McKee, thanks for taking my phone call. You guys, I was just calling in just to say, like, I was so proud of Thomas Brown. I was more impressed with Thomas Brown the past 5 days, what he's done with his OC, than I was with Matt Eberflus's defense and the special teams coordinator. Because as I watch this game, you guys, I've seen this for 33 years. Please tell me in the game, once again, we have 12 men on the field. Zach Pickett can't get off the field, and Jordan Love sees it on the first drive. He threw a touchdown. He didn't need it, but he threw a touchdown. Like, once again, we have undisciplined people in the defense. And then the second quarter, once again, for some reason, Rashad Coward on a 4th and 3. I don't know if the Packers were going to go for it again, but he decides to just go offside on a 4th and 3. You know what I'm saying? Undisciplined for Matt Eberflus. Is that your defense? And then Jalen Johnson, I think he gave up both of those big plays to Christian Washington. He didn't really have a great game. Just So, and then you guys at the end of the game, like number 45 and the special teams getting the unsportsmanlike kind of 15 yards, and then just the special teams with a field goal. It's just the discipline's not there for Matt Eberflus and his special teams, and I was just disappointed in them. And this your division rival. I've seen this play for 33 years, and they've done the same formula to beat us. Is that we do the same things. We're an undisciplined team to beat us. We jump off sides. We have 12 men on the field. We do everything to have the Packers win the game, and there's no reason they should have won that game right now because they gave the game to us. But yet, once again, we can't even kick a field goal with 40 yards in there. We just can't because we're just not disciplined enough. And there was at least 3 people in the middle of the field, guys, blocking that field goal. It wasn't just an unknown guy. There was 3 hands up. So you're just saying, I'm just disappointed in Matt Eberflus and that this is your biggest rival, and then I just was impressed with Thomas Brown, what he did for the offense. So it just was the same thing and just losing with Alfred. But thanks, guys, for taking my phone
Matt.
call.
Next week, get back at it again next week. We'll see what happens. 312-332-3776. Up for another hour here on ESPN 1000, taking your calls on the Postgame Show.
The warmth of the holidays. The chill of Chicago sports.
Draft a quarterback and the lineman to protect him.
It's the Waddle and Sylvie Holiday Parody Song Contest. There's been no shortage of dysfunction and futility on the local sports scene. Now you just need to combine your creative angst with seasonal joy. And unlike your favorite teams, you really could win. Go to ESPNChicagoContest.com for the rules and to enter the Waddle and Sylvie Holiday Parody Song Contest. Brought to you in part by Rogers and Hollins and American Sale.
Bear down. Bear down.
Stay tuned for details of the Holiday Parody Contest finale party. Deadline for entries is December 6th.
Bears fans, listen up. Miller Lite and me are on the hunt for the ultimate Bears fan cave. The coolest cave is winning a trip to Lambeau for the Bears game and tailgating in style at the Tundra Trio. You have a cool cave? Well, then write this down. MillerLiteFanCave.com. That's MillerLiteFanCave.com. Show off your Bears cave, and I might swing by to feature your setup, of course, with Miller Lite in hand and some sweet swag to add to your cave. Enter at MillerLiteFanCave.com. That's MillerLiteFanCave.com, the official beer of the Chicago Bears.
You don't go to Country Thunder to see your favorite artist. You go to Country Thunder to see all your favorite artists. Country Thunder Wisconsin returns with Jelly Roll, Hardy, Derek Bentley, and Cole Swindell. Plus Zach Top, Tyler Hubbard, Ashley McBride, Gavin Adcock, and so many more. Guarantee your spot. Country Thunder Wisconsin, July 17th to 20th in Twin Lakes. Tickets at countrythunder.com.
Apt, your #1 destination for the home, carries a wide range of furnaces, garage doors, and whole house generators that are ready to be delivered and installed by their certified and licensed technicians. Their professional sales staff is available to help you with all of your questions and to help find the perfect solutions for your home. Order from app.com and upgrade your home appliances to prepare for the upcoming holiday season. For free local delivery, professional installation, and complete satisfaction, shop at Apt or go to abt.com. Apt, pleasing people since 1936.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it, like that. Ask your phone, group chat, smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time, no waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
Dear Autumn Leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Toyota's lineup of cool, colorful vehicles is ready to ride by your side. Take on fall in a trail-tackling Tacoma or go for the powerful Tundra. Head to Toyota.com for more info or visit your local Toyota dealership today. Toyota, let's go places.
Class is back in session at Whiskey University. We return to Sovereign in Plainfield Wednesday night at 6:30. Our latest lesson, an old friend, Templeton American Whiskey. We'll study the art of rye whiskey and taste our way through Templeton's rich history, dating all the way back to the Prohibition era. With a lineup of award-winning whiskeys, Templeton continues to earn global recognition for quality and craftsmanship. Learn for yourself at Whiskey University. Wednesday night at 6:30. See you at Sovereign in Plainfield. Please drink responsibly.
This is ESPN Chicago, WNVP, WTBC, HD2 Chicago, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Welcome back to Bears Postgame. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer on the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Bears lose their 11th straight to the Green Bay Packers. Matt LaFleur has yet to lose in a rivalry game against the Bears. He's been coaching the team for over 5 years now.
Wow.
So 11 straight losses for the Bears to the Packers. And this one obviously might hurt the worst of those 11 because it was a clear opportunity to of the 11. I'm not saying all Packers. I'm saying of the 11 straight.
Mac still hurts. Oh, I guess we got to win after the Mac loss, didn't we? We got to win after the Mac loss.
Yeah, I was going to say that
because we lost the Mac one and then we won the last one. Yeah,
it's gotten so bad we actually had to like rank the how bad the loss was. That's where we've gotten to. Like that is man.
Yeah, it was a brutal way to lose today, 20-19 at home on a blocked field goal that would have won it for the Bears. But alas, it was not to be. I will say, for those who are monitoring these sort of things, the Detroit Lions scored 7 touchdowns on their first 7 possessions with Ben Johnson calling plays. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 52-6 as they took their foot off of the accelerator late in the third quarter. Again, 7 for 7 on their first 7 drives. Jared Goff had 412 yards and 4 touchdowns. David Montgomery had a couple of touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs had 1. Oh, Jameson Williams, did you see? He pulled out the Marshawn Lynch D's nuts touchdown.
Jumped in, grabbed hold. Said, grab a handful as I blow past you.
So, yeah, the Detroit Lions continue to look impressive. They are 9-1 atop the NFC North. We know the Packers won, and, of course, the Vikings won as well today. So, all in all, a pretty brutal day for the Bears. The Vikings are now 8-2. The Packers are, as you probably know, 7-3, and the Bears are 4-6. So, a lot to get after here, including a bunch of phone calls.
Yes.
Let's go on out to Mike, who is in Oak Park. Mikey, what's going on? You're on the Mike.
Hold on, gents. That one caller who talked about the refs wanting the Bears to win, it was just hilarious because I guess the Bears blocked the field goal also. But anyway, what I wanted to get your opinion on was that. It seems like when I watch the games, compare over all so far this season, that we can't get enough pressure with 4 compared to the other teams, the pressure they can get with 4.
Yeah.
I just want to know you guys what your thoughts on that.
You are correct, Mike. You are absolutely correct.
We talked about this, in the first hour of the show. Just this defense is predicated on being able to get pressure with your front 4. Then you don't have to bring linebackers, right? You don't have to bring third level pressures, bringing the safety down. To create chaos back there for the quarterback. And, a lot of times today we saw Jordan Love having, time to moonlight back there with the ball and then makes a big throw because we couldn't get to the quarterback with just 4. So that's going to be this defense. You know, it's if you can't do that consistently, well, there's going to be big chunk plays to be made for a quarterback because the coverage is a coverage. You can only hold up for so long despite what type of coverage you're in. You know, that front four's got to get there to cause disruption for that quarterback. And if we ain't doing it, we're going to see the chunk plays that we saw from Jordan Love today.
Bears only had DeMarcus Walker had the only sack of the day.
Yeah, and I think here's another, Jeff, you talk about the conservativeness of Flus. I think that the team does kind of embody that feel, unfortunately. Correct me if I'm wrong. The first back-to-back blitzes that I saw called, I believe came halfway through the third quarter after you basically got no pressure on them the entire day. And I think that led to the DeMarcus Walker sack. Like, at a certain point, you got to realize, listen, we're not getting pressure. We got to switch things up. We got to take a chance. And not to say you didn't. I guess the defense did enough for you to win a game. But, like, getting to Jordan Love is going to force him to throw more interceptions than not. And he gave you one. I would have turned the pressure up at that point. I just feel like Flus is very content going with the philosophy of this defense versus going with, like you said, KYP, the personnel you actually have. You don't have a guy back there anymore in Andrew Billings who had been dominating rushing the passer this season. Not as much getting the sacks, but his pass rush win rate was phenomenal. He was consistently in the quarterback's face. He was causing the quarterback to get off his spot. He's leading the sacks for other guys. You don't have that guy there anymore. Zach Pickens has not lived up to being the player that we hoped that he was going to be to this point. You hope that there's some continued development there, but without that player there, you got to change where that pressure's coming from. And it just felt like the entire game they were more willing to say, we'll let him stand back there and try his best to pick us apart versus rushing six.
Yeah. You want that quarterback to have happy feet, or you want him to take that extra pat of the ball. And if you do that, usually if he's taking 2 pats of the ball, it should be a sack in this league. And if you're not doing that, well, guess what? You see the big chunk plays we saw today.
Yeah, no, and listen, there's a reason why Ryan Poles was in on Matthew Judon at the start of the season, why he was in those trade talks, why he was trying to make it happen. Yeah. I do think they're still lacking another edge rusher. Taylor's had moments. They acquired him for a 6th-round pick at the end of training camp, but the reality is, outside of Montez Sweat, they really need another guy who can bring some push. Yeah. Austin Booker hasn't been that yet. He's a rookie. He's still a developmental project. But again, Walker, he's solid, but he's not going to be a guy who generates pressure on his own. He's going to get clean up the leftovers when when Montez Sweat creates opportunities for him. Yeah. Dexter, you know what? He's been MIA the last couple of weeks. Javon Dexter, I know he got a lot of praise early in the season. We haven't seen as much from him.
Yeah, when you look at this defensive line, right, and you're an offensive coordinator or an offense, getting ready to attack this Bears defense, right? When you look at the line offensively and the protection, you say, we've got to help where 98 is. That's where Montez Sweat is. Everybody else, we feel like we have an opportunity to win that one-on-one matchup. So we're going to slide the protection to Montez. We're going to put a tight end or a running back over there to chip the help out on 98. But other than that, we're not really worried about anybody else consistently getting pressure or being able to beat us and win those one-on-one matchups consistently to derail our offense. And that's where this defensive line is right now.
That's the voice of Jason McKee. He was on the sidelines of today's Bears-Packers game, as he is each week, along with Pat the Designer. I'm Jeff Meller, taking your calls. Let's go to San Diego. Say what's up to Tom. Hey, Tom.
San Diego.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
What's going on?
So I kind of wanted to point out real quick that there's a couple positives we have going on right now. So I get it. The Bears lost today, and we're all down about it, right? But we look out into the future, and hopefully Ryan Poles will make the correct move and letting Matt Eberflus, let him go on his way, and that we have a bunch of draft picks in our way that we can actually address the line, the things on both sides of the ball that I think the Bears could be really better at. I don't know if that's the right case, but I just want to hear your guys' opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, dare I say, and maybe I'm in the minority, does it feel like you moved in the right direction today offensively?
Yeah, of course. I think it definitely did.
If you're moving in the right direction offensively, you got to keep building on this. That's what we came into this season caring most about. Not to say you can say, forget the defense is done, but you still had a defense today that gave up 21 points. You still had 20 points. He is still under 21. That record's broken now, but maybe they're starting a new one. I think there are positives you can pull from it. It just sucks because you've got to be able to see it through a Packers loss. Like with the offense stepping in the right direction, with the offense seeming competent, and it's seeming like something that can stay. Like, a lot of times, all of a sudden, you get an offensive coordinator change, and it feels like everybody's playing out of their minds. I didn't feel like that happened today. I felt like everybody just played to potential today, and your offensive coordinator called some solid plays. There are positives that you can take away from today's game. Like I said, though, it just sucks because you're looking at it through Packers kicking the crap out of you lenses.
I just saw more execution today. Like guys making blocks they were supposed to make.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some of the same play calls. We've seen the quick throws out there on the perimeter to DJ and Keenan with Shane Waldron, but what we didn't see is guys making those blocks to spring those those runs after the catch. So it's just guys actually doing their job at a higher level, and that's what we saw, I think, more consistently today.
Better execution, more effort.
Yeah.
They have to build on it, though. It can't just be a 1 week, fired offensive coordinator bounce.
Yeah.
You need to see this week in and week out now.
I'll ask you this, J-Mac. Does a player-led team, because this is what the Bears want to be. They're very outspoken. They're not, they don't hide their feelings. Does a player-led team have more of a chance to sustain what we saw today and keep improving than a team that maybe does have to lean more on the coaching staff?
If you're a team that's coach led, you're going to be average. If you're a team that's player led, you have an opportunity to be great, right? And when I say that, to say this, even with the lack of accountability that we've heard coming out of that locker room with Shane Waldron at the helm of offensive coordinator, right? It's still the players that have to basically say, you got to go out and execute, right? But in practice, it's the players that could say, you know what? That run period wasn't good enough. We need to go back and redo the plays that we sucked at or the plays that we lacked detail in. That protection wasn't right in practice, so we can't just overlook it and expect it to be right on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's a player-led team. You know what I'm saying? And those are things that you have to have. You got to have that type of voice and that type of leader to be able to, hold the team accountable to do those things, right? You can't have a bunch of guys. You got a bunch of young guys already, but like we've talked about all season, who's that voice? Who's the voice of reason that when things aren't going their way, that can sit up in that locker room and say, you know what, that practice wasn't good enough. We need to go out there and do this. We need to put more emphasis on this. Who's that guy? But you can't be that guy if you're not doing things consistently because nobody's going to follow you.
Let's try Brandon in Michigan City. What's going on, Brandon? Hey, B.
Brandon, what's good?
All right. Sounds like his phone might have an issue. We'll see if we can reconnect there. How about Eve, who's in D.C.? Eve, you're on the Postgame show.
Hi.
Hey,
how's it going, Eve?
Hi. Listen, guys, I just want to say that you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
I appreciate everything you'll say. I know Jason McKee has played professional football, and he's an awesome guy. He knows what he's saying. Look, let's just give the Bears their props because they have done a great job today, as well as the new offensive coach. I mean, let's just give them all the props. I'm a Bear fan all day, every day. You understand? So you guys are doing a great job. I love watching you. I watch you every week. Go Bears. Bear down. Let's go.
We got some positive. I think we've been fairly positive considering it was a tough loss for the Bears today. Yeah. Would you guys agree? I think.
No, yeah, because I think here's the thing. We're looking towards the only things that are going to be here. I think we're all three resigned to the fact the coaching issue that is the issue right now is probably not an issue heading into next season. Right?
Well, I think that's, I don't know.
If you look at positives from today, and I'll talk about the positives through the lens that I saw it out there on the field. You saw a quarterback that got better. I saw a quarterback that started to play within the system. I saw a new coordinator come in and call a game, an effective game plan that could have beat Green Bay, that should have beat Green Bay. I saw guys making plays. I saw a young guy, Rome Odunze, make time and time again, clutch plays in critical situations. I saw Keenan Allen finally making some plays.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was good to see Keenan. We saw the ball back in Cole Kmet's hand. Yes, the offensive line was shook up again. You had Jake Curran coming for Ryan Bates, who was out with a concussion. Were they dominant the entire game? No, but we did see the emergence of a run game. We saw Caleb Williams run with intention instead of just running around there.
Yes.
When he didn't have to. I saw a defense come up with a big takeaway in the red zone, but I also saw a defense, right, that's been different from a defense that we've seen to start the season. The defense that, critical situations gave up a big play.
Yeah.
Critical situations made a mistake. jumping off sides, 12 men on the field. You know what I'm saying? Those are things that get you beat. So defensively, I didn't see the growth, but I saw a fight from this team, something we haven't seen the last few weeks.
I'll get back to this too. The most encouraging thing to me, even though it's not going to go down on his ledger as leading a 2-minute comeback win or a late game comeback win, Caleb Williams did everything he needed to do to bring the Bears down the field to win that football game, including responding to consecutive sacks to start the drive that put him in a 3rd and 19 situation where we see him break the pocket and then make a ridiculous throw that you've already commented on. You know, the reason why he was drafted first overall was because of that play. Yeah. Like, there's very few guys in the league who can make that play, and he did it to perfection. Yeah. And then, because it was 3rd and 19, he took what was there, and he set himself up for a makeable, convertible 4th and 3, where he came right back and converts on that play. So, and then lead his team down into a position where a very makeable field goal, to your point, right? Pat. So, again, this is where I'll get back to, I'm not so sure that Ryan Poles is going to part ways with Matt Eberflus. I'm hoping that I can look at today's game and say, listen, man, that he's still leaving too many plays on the table. He's putting too much pressure on his team to be perfect. No players, you're never going to be perfect throughout the entirety of a game. And I think a better coach would put the Bears in position to win some of these games. So I'm hoping Ryan Poles recognizes that. If he wants to continue to be the head coach of this team for the long term, I think he needs to cut ties with Matt Eberflus at the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when it gets to this, this is Matt Eberflus is not the worst hit. First of all, he's not the worst head coach that's ever coached the Chicago Bears. No. Matt Eberflus is what many people said Justin Fields was, though. Just good enough to get you beat.
Yeah.
He is good enough to put you in the positions where you can win games, where you should win games, where you're going to have the opportunity, but you don't have that opportunity. Why? That's where, like J-Mac brings up, you don't have that attention to detail in practice. You didn't have that attention to detail in training camp. You haven't cared enough about the small things so that they take effect in the big moments, and the small things shoot you in the foot.
Or he cares, but he doesn't know how to communicate the message effectively enough so that the players are bearing down in those biggest moments. They're not having those moments where they're jumping off sides.
And it goes back to, having that fear as a player, of that coach. Like, my rookie year, I had Bill Parcells when I was with Dallas. And it was like the fear. Like, if Bill Parcells was walking down the hall and you were about to cross paths, you would make a U-turn. Even though you had to go down the hall to go that way, you'd make a U-turn because you're like, man,
you didn't want to have an uncomfortable.
You went to the bathroom a lot.
What? Like, if Bill Parcells struck fear. I mean, Bill Parcells told us one time, right? He had, for rookies, you couldn't go into the training room, you couldn't get ice, right? And on each training room table, he had bus stop number 1, bus stop number 2, bus stop number 3 over the training tables. And he said if you went there and got ice, he wasn't going to get you a plane ticket. He was going to cut you and send you home on a Greyhound. So, as rookies, we were, leaving practice. You could be banged up, bumped, bruised up. We had to go to the gas station.
That was 7-Eleven ice.
Oh, my goodness. You had to go get ice from the gas station.
Yeah.
But Parcells, to his point, though, when he would, to start practice, when he would walk through the stretch line, right, and you can have a bad practice. He would say, hey, I remember him telling one of our kicker. I think his name was Billy Cundiff was our kicker.
Yeah, I remember Billy Cundiff.
Billy, right? Mm-hmm. So I think Billy had a bad game, and on the other field, he had 4 kickers trying out, and he walked through the stretch line, and he told Billy Cundiff, hey, you miss a kick today, one of those guys over there is going to have your locker. And I remember doing field goal, Billy lining up for field goal and practice, and his leg shaking like he was doing I don't know what kind of dance he was doing. I'm like, please, Billy, make the kick.
Did he miss?
He made it. Him, right. But it's having that type of pressure to where having that type of coach to where you know what, dude, I can't mess up. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to mess up because I know my job's on the line, which you should know that. It's the NFL, but just having that.
It's a mentality that is created from the top down.
Thank you.
And I think it's clear that Matt Eberflus, and you see it at the podium each and every week.
Yeah.
He's uncomfortable at the podium delivering his message to the media, which is, again, his conduit to the fans. Yes. But if he can't deliver it simply to the fans, how are you able to really deliver it to the players?
And I think
that gets lost.
Yeah, and he's a player's coach, and it's cool, and I get it. You can have nicknames for your players and stuff
like that.
Come on,
Crusher.
I got nicknames for my players too, but at the same time, when it's time to hold them accountable, and it's tough sometimes because you may, that's my guy right there. But at the same time, if he's not, holding himself accountable, and he's not living up to our expectation, I've got to discipline him.
Yeah.
I've got to call him out. I've got to, hey, I've got to make him refocus, especially when you have a lot of young guys on the team.
And
Some of these guys on the team, this is their first year, but they feel like they've arrived.
Yeah.
No, you haven't.
Yeah.
You're still going
What have you proved in the NFL?
Yes, you're still going to go get the food, rookie. You're still going to pay for rookie dinner. You haven't done anything. You know what I mean? That's the type of, command that you got to have of the team. And like I said before, once that culture slips and once that standard slips, it's hard to get back. And that's what we've seen, right? We've seen guys coming out in the media saying things, they may They may not come out and say it directly, but they've been saying things,
we heard it pretty direct.
Both.
Yeah, you've heard both.
We heard it pretty direct.
But the good teams, right? All like the good teams and the teams that have command, when you have leaders that have command of their locker room, everything stays in the locker room. It's us versus them. You know what I'm saying? Everything stays in the locker room.
Yeah. I mean, and I know sometimes fans, media get a little but it's a proven way of approaching things that when you do it correctly results in wins on the football
field.
field.
Bill Belichick was winning all them championships up in New England, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Did we get anything?
No.
Did we get anything? We didn't get nothing at the press conference.
No Tom Brady podcast.
We didn't get nothing at the press conference. You didn't see guys out in the media letting things slip. We didn't. But we knew one. What did we get? You got a product on the field that was going to win. Yeah. You know what was coming to the table when New England came to town. You better be on your P's and Q's because they were going to embarrass you, and they were about winning championships. Kansas City. What do we say from Kansas City and Andy Reid?
Listen, if that's not, it's not just
come on,
Patrick
guys.
Mahomes.
How many examples do I got to give?
It's
all the winning ones, please.
Yeah, it's culture too because KC's finding ways now. Maybe not today. They may finally get their first loss of the season here in Buffalo, but they've found ways to reinvent themselves and win with defense.
Yeah. Mike Tomlin,
in addition,
right?
Yeah,
he's had a new roster, right? Roster changes, quarterback changes. Has he ever had a losing season?
He has not.
But has he always had command, right? And has he always set in place a standard? Regardless of who the player is, he's called out players in meetings.
Yes.
I think that's the thing, man. Like that's the part for me where I look at this team and I do question the head coach.
Yes.
He got his hits principle, the quits principle, slapped in the face the first year it was here. Right? Or I'm sorry, the second year it was here when Chase Claypool came in and lollygagged. And what did he say? That's a moment, okay, we're going to set an example. Chase ain't playing. Chase ain't going to be on the field. We're not going to accept that. Chase Claypool not only was on the field the next week, he was the starting wide receiver the next week. He didn't have that standard.
They announced Chase Claypool as a starter. They announced 12 starters, remember, last year. Because Chase Claypool, they didn't want to hurt his feelings.
But it's just it's so sad when you sit there and you see him put this principle out. This is our standard. This is what we have. And how many players have we seen disrespect that standard over a 3-year period? That means you don't have a standard. Exactly. That means you don't have a principle. That means that you have some players that believe in you and some players who are like, that's cute. You got a little college thing going on. That's fun. Acronym.
We saw Chad Johnson have a heck of a career in Cincinnati, right? And then he left Cincinnati and went to the Patriots. And what happened? He was non-existent, right? Because he couldn't learn the playbook. He wasn't playing up to a standard.
Yeah.
And Bill Belichick didn't care who you were.
Freelance and not going to work.
You ain't just going to go out there and run whatever type of route you want. You're going to run the route that we
He was
you to
on
run.
the roster, but ultimately he was not
4
playing.
Weeks, right?
I think he was on the roster in the playoffs, or maybe they brought him back. But ultimately he wasn't even, like you said, non-factor.
That's what he is. You're not going to come up here and just do what you did in Cincinnati. This is not your team. It's my team.
So I think
you can do what I tell you to do.
I think we've delved deep into some of the issues that are plaguing the Bears. We'll continue to take your calls. This is the Post-Game Show, 312-332-3776 on your home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN 1000.
This is the new home of the Bears. Hear head coach Matt Eberflus exclusive on Cap and J Hood tomorrow morning at 8:20 on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago.
This is Jeff Joniak here to tell you about Ego Power Plus. Ego is the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Take it from me. I love the 22-inch Select Cut self-propelled lawn mower. It cuts my lawn in a single charge. Ego delivers the power and performance of gas, but without the noise, fuss, or fumes. Ego's patented 56-volt arc lithium battery technology is the heart and soul of the system and what powers game-changing torque needed for demanding jobs. Learn more at egopowerplus.com. Ego, power beyond belief.
LoadSmart offers you a fresh canvas, empowering you to take control of your supply chain. Instantly price, book, and ship with guaranteed capacity tailored to your unique needs. LoadSmart's automated solutions eliminate the chaos of manual processes, giving you the freedom to design a more efficient, cost-effective operation. Whether it's FTL, LTL, PTL, expedited, or drayage,
LoadSmart helps you shape your logistics your way.
Join the likes of Amazon Freight, Cabot Creamery, and Scott's Miracle Grow to move more with less at loadsmart.com/ESPN.
Ooh, we got a question. Brian W. asks, it's the holiday season and I'm looking for deals. Is Xfinity having a Black Friday sale?
Well, Brian, our best deals of the year are here. Get iPhone 16 Pro on us. Just ask us how. Plus, you can also get fast, reliable Xfinity internet with a line of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited for a great low price.
So don't wait. Bring home a new iPhone 16 Pro built for Apple Intelligence.
And connect to reliable 5G and Wi-Fi speeds up to a gig on Xfinity Mobile.
That's a big deal.
More like a gig deal.
Now through December 3rd, ask how to get the new iPhone 16 Pro on us with an unlimited Plus line. Plus, get 300 megabit Xfinity internet and an unlimited mobile line together for only $35 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com/Black Friday sale to learn more. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing or auto pays to your bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity internet. Gig speeds available via hotspots to Xfinity Mobile customers only. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Actual internet speeds and data thresholds may vary.
That's right, it's Pat the Designer. Miller Lite has asked me to judge the best bear caves in Chicagoland, and each week I'm bringing Miller Lite and Bear swag to the best designed bear caves in town. And the best will win 2 tickets to watch the Bears game at Lambeau and tailgate in style at the Tundra Trio. So send me your pictures or videos. Go to MillerLiteFanCave.com to submit. This is going to be so much fun. Brought to you by Miller Lite, official beer of the Chicago Bears. Go to MillerLiteFanCave.com right now.
Hey, Chicagoland, have you heard? Steinhaffel's newest furniture and mattress superstore is coming soon to Orland Park at Orland Park Place. For over 90 years, Steinhaffel's has been helping families create the homes of their dreams. Steinhaffel's has all the latest trends, colors, and styles. Plus, Steinhaffel's carries all the best brands, something for every style and every budget. Steinhaffel's is Chicagoland's furniture and mattress leader. Find out more and shop online at steinhaffels.com.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Want to buy a vehicle in 60 minutes or less? Purchase your next vehicle in 60 minutes or less at Advantage Chevrolet Hodgkins, or your first car payment is on them. And every new Chevy comes with the Advantage Plus program. Together, let's drive. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Need health insurance? It's open enrollment for the Get Covered Illinois Marketplace. Our Get Covered Illinois navigators will help you enroll in a quality health plan, and you could qualify for financial help. 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Essential benefits cover prescription drugs, emergency care, health screenings, and more. Visit getcoveredillinois.gov to enroll in a plan by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st.
ESPN Chicago.
Packers 20, Bears 19. Scott Daly on the ball. Taylor will extend his right hand on cue from Cairo Santos. South end zone upright. Snap. Placement. Kick is blocked by the Green Bay Packers. They got the penetration, and they blocked the kick. And they will survive and leave with an 11th consecutive win over the Bears. Crusher. 20-19. Green Bay the win. To go to 7-3, the Bears fall to 4-6. Haven't seen a replay. Not sure that I want to.
What we do is if we need that extra push over the cliff, you know what we do?
Put it up to 11.
11, exactly. One louder.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
11 straight losses for the Bears as they fall to the Packers. This one goes to 11, boys. No fun. Tough way to lose. You heard Jeff Joniak on the call, along with Tom Thayer. Jason McKee, who's with us here now in studio on State Street. He was on the sidelines watching the Bears players take that one in. Had to be dejected on the sidelines, right, J-Mac?
You know, the highlight of my day was my guy Devin Hester was in the building at halftime. A lot of my old teammates was there. Mike Brown, Israel Donajay, Adrian Peterson. Little Garrett Wolf was there, Rasheed Davis. It was awesome. Mike Brown was in the building.
Hell yeah.
To celebrate our guy at halftime. He got his ring from the Hall of Fame. They had a great ceremony for him at halftime. He got a standing ovation from the fans, as he should.
Yep.
But, you know, shout out to Devin. So that was one highlight. That was one positive takeaway I can take from today.
Have we ever won a game where we honoring somebody at halftime?
Here you go with the negativity. I don't know.
I'm just asking. I'm trying to think.
Yes. I believe.
Here you go.
They won it. Was it Tennessee or they honored Mongo at halftime, either against Tennessee or the Rams this year? They won. I can't remember which game it was, but they won both those games. So they did do that. I think it was the opener.
So it was positive then. It was a
every once in a while.
It was a positive answer.
We won.
Meller, Pat, the designer, Jason McKee with you here on the post-game show. We're here with you after every Bears game, after Peggy and Jurko wrap up the post-game show. Again, Bears lose 20-19 at home today against the Packers. Let's try David, who's on the south side. What's going on, Dave?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing good. How you
What's
doing?
What's going on, Dave?
I'm doing fine. One thing I noticed about Eberflus is that as long as we're in a close game, he plays not to lose the game. He doesn't play to win. He always does that. And we're never going to win as long as we got him as a coach because he's going to play not to lose.
Listen, it's a fair criticism, David, and you see that from a lot of defensive coaches, you know, and it's kind of part of the makeup, right? Like of that side of the ball is you're just like, just don't mess it up. And I can't disagree with you, David.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
it's a frustrating part of being a Bears fan.
I just pulled this up. I mean, it is staggering that Matt Eberflus is still here. Matt Eberflus' record as a Bears head coach so far, 13 total wins, 30 total losses. He's 0-5 against the Packers. He's 0-18 on away games on Sunday, and he has blown 6 games with a 95% chance to win. That's your head coach.
And that doesn't include today's game.
I think that is including today's game.
No, they didn't have a 95% chance. Do you think the field goal attempt?
The field goal attempt probably pushed you high. Maybe not though. It might not have been 95%.
I don't think. Yeah, I think yours. I don't. We'll have to look it up. But I think that stat does not include today's loss.
That's. I mean, like the thing with Flus, it's good enough. It's like you said. It's very conservative. I think about the Detroit game. You get the big lead. It's good enough. The Denver game. You get the big lead. It's good enough. You're not keeping your foot on the gas in the second half. Hey, defense, just don't screw it up. Today's game, we got in a position whether. I can understand the call of letting Cairo kick a 46 yard field goal. He should be able to make that.
He should.
Still a very conservative decision. Hey, we're going to go safe here.
Was it Trestman? Right, Trestman settled for a 47-yarder. Am I correct? If I remember correctly, I think Trestman settled for a 47-yard field goal attempt might have been in overtime.
Yes.
And he got crushed.
He did it on
second down.
Second down.
Yeah.
He did it on second down.
We've been through this before.
Yeah.
The more things change, the more they stay the same here in Chicago. Let's try Stan, who's in Crown Point, Indiana. What's going on, Stan?
Stan.
What's up, guys?
What's happening, Stan?
Your show.
Hey,
Thanks, Stan.
Hey, check this out. So, I need your opinion on something. So, earlier in the show, you were talking about, my name's Dan, by the way.
Oh, Dano.
Dan.
Man.
Dano, so much better than Stan.
Yeah, Stan. Who the fuck?
Whoa. There goes Dan.
All right, Dan, going to give you a mulligan, but you only get one.
I apologize.
You caught that.
Hey, look, you were talking earlier in the show about none of the coaches, no matter, if it's the coach or the offensive or defensive, whoever it is, that nobody's going to, the Bears don't ever get rid of anybody until, at end of the year. So finally they replaced the OC. The offensive coordinator. Yeah. And I think this guy did a really good job today, even though we lost. It seemed more structured and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, this is my opinion, and I want yours. And I'm sorry about the
That's
F-bomb.
okay, no worry.
Okay. I think it's money. Because maybe you guys know this better than I do, but if you cut someone, let's say half the season, and then you bring somebody else in, maybe you still got to pay that guy, and then you got to pay that guy.
Yeah, so Dan,
because the Bears,
the way it works is, if you fire a coach, you're on the hook for their guaranteed portion of the contract. So, we're led to believe, I believe Brad Biggs had the report that Matt Eberflus signed a 5-year deal. That's what Brad Biggs believes, which means that he's got 2 years remaining after this year. And no matter if Eberflus is not hired to be a head coach, which you wouldn't think would be the case in that two-year period, the Bears will be on the hook to pay whatever difference. If he goes back into coaching as a DC, they would have to pay the difference. And so, do they now? But that doesn't really prohibit them from making a change mid-year if you believe you'll do it at the end of the year, right? You're that's where we get into this question of if you know you're going to do it at the end of the year and you think he's lost the players' respect or the locker room, then, why would you keep him around? I thought that today's game was paramount for his job tenure for the remainder of the season, that they get some type of response. Because you couldn't have what happened against the Patriots happen again today. That would have been an absolute disaster.
Well, and I think, listen, this is the kind of head coach that they want, right? We talked about the Mike Sando report when me and Shay were on, that, execs around the league believe that the Bears want a structure that has an empowered team president and an empowered front office, and they want a head coach. They're not going out to find a power head coach. They're not going to go get a Jim Harbaugh. They're not going to go get guys who are going to speak against what they're trying to do, which means you're probably getting guys who don't care about picking their coaching staff, don't care about, going and getting the player that they want. They're more focused on, okay, whatever players you give me, that's what you're going to get. When you have those options, Flus is the kind of coach that they want.
Yeah, it's tough, Mike Vrabel, Bill Belichick are two guys who are out of work who would seem to fit that type of pedigree that you're talking about, Pat. Guys who would come in, who would be a Bill Parcells type that you were talking about last segment, J-Mac.
Just think about it. The success rate, if you're the head coach, you can't pick your staff. It's just like you're a chef, but I can't pick my ingredients. It's not going to work.
Well, yeah. That's even crazier. Not allowing them to pick your staff. You can't even pick your sous chefs.
But I think that's the situation we're in, right? Think about this.
Think
about this with Shane Waldron. You had an offensive coordinator that you had never seen coach before. There's no staff that Matt Eberflus has been on that Shane Waldron has been on. So I've never seen how this guy coaches. I have all the confidence in the world in him. 9 games into the season, now I'm going, we just felt he wasn't holding people accountable enough. When you know if a guy's not holding people accountable enough? If you're on a staff with him. That kind of leads me to believe that you have some people above you making some decisions for the people that are on your staff.
Maybe that's the case, but it's problematic. I played a soundbite earlier in the week from Matt Eberflus at the Combine when he was talking about hiring Shane Waldron, and he talked about how his conversation with Pete Carroll really led him to believing that he was the right guy for the job. And this is problematic to your point, Pat. He didn't know firsthand what type of person he was getting with Shane Waldron.
Yeah.
Now, Shane Waldron, when he got the best out of Geno Smith a couple of years ago, Dave Canales, who's now currently the head coach in Carolina because of the job he did in Tampa Bay last year, he was on the same staff as Shane Waldron. A lot of people believe that Dave Canales is the guy who's responsible for helping Geno figure things out. Nevertheless, what we're seeing here is that Matt Eberflus made the decision on Shane Waldron, and when I was listening to Thomas Brown speak on Wednesday, I was saying to myself, you interviewed both Thomas Brown and Shane Waldron, and somehow you came to the conclusion. Like, it'd be one thing if Shane Waldron was a dynamic personality and so was Thomas Brown, and you went with Shane Waldron. That was clearly not the case.
You interviewed Cliff Kingsbury, too, who coached Caleb.
You
Yeah,
did
that might be a Cliff decision based on what we heard from Cliff.
But like, I know,
that might be a Cliff choice. What happened with that interview? We're not going to speak on it.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know the details. What was that?
I digress. I pass. I think I'm going to pass on that job.
I don't know how you went with Shane Waldron, this guy. Like, especially, too, in the aftermath, what we've heard from the players about not holding people accountable, being too nice. How you went with Shane Waldron and not Thomas Brown is kind of insane to me. And so, yet again, to me, another indictment on Matt Eberflus and his decision-making process. We got one more. We got to take one more quick time out, and then we'll wrap up the calls before we get out of here. Jason McKee, Pat the Designer, Jeff Meller, the Post-Game Show here on ESPN 1000.
Here comes the boom. The Chicago Bears podcast. Here comes the boom. If you aren't listening, you're not getting the whole story. Join host Pat the Designer with special guests and guest host daily. See it or hear it now on the ESPN Chicago app or wherever you like to pod.
Yeah. I seem to be having a hard time tuning to the Bulls game on my TV.
Has trying to watch basketball got you seeing red? Then head out to Anchor Bar in Oswego. Catch all the games live with family and friends. Stop in all this week to find out how you can win tickets to see the Bulls live and in person, all brought to you by Michelob Ultra.
It sure beats trying to watch them using gravity.
Anchor Bar is the home of the original Buffalo Wing with award-winning sauces. This week's feature is Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra reminds you, if you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. If you're thinking about buying a car, before you head to the dealership, visit DuPage Credit Union. DuPage Credit Union's vehicle loan rates start as low as 5.40% APR. For credit costs and terms or to apply, visit DuPageCU.com. That's DuPageCU.com to lock in your vehicle rate for 30 days. By Members' Choice, this financial institution is not federally insured. Members' deposits are privately insured up to $250,000 per account through American Share Insurance. DuPage Credit Union. Banking inspired.
Hey, this is Chauncey. For 25 years, I've been your host of Chauncey's Great Outdoors. Clever name, huh? I came up with it, and I stand by it. Chauncey's Great Outdoors, Saturday morning from 6 to 7 on ESPN Chicago.
For the past 125 years, Chicagoans have leaned on Jewel Osco for all of their holiday needs. And this year is no different. Stop by your local Jewel Osco for all of your holiday needs. Jewel Osco, local since 1899.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. For instance, TCU walked into the locker room at halftime in the 2016 Alamo Bowl, down 31-0. The Horned Frogs stormed into the second half and erased a 31-point deficit to force overtime, and eventually won it in the third overtime, 47-41.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
Just in time for the holidays, the Chevy Red Tags are out at your local Chevy dealer, and you can save big with 1.9% APR financing on all Chevy Silverado 1500 pickups. Go to ChevyDriveChicago.com for details, and together, let's drive.
Listen for Danny Acker and the Crane Chicago Sports Business Minute, airing Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on ESPN Chicago. Presented by Chicagoland BMW Centers.
All right, guys, Jurko here. Let's get real for a second. Sometimes, even the strongest amongst us needs a little bit of a boost. And that's where my friends at Blue Chew come in. You know, the good kid, I'm all about results, and Blue Chew delivers. Blue Chew has the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but it's in a chewable form. So chew it, and you're good to go when the moment's right. And they even have Vardenafil mint-flavored chewables. Fresh breath, extra confidence. What's not to love there? Let's face it, we've all had those game day jitters. Butterflies in the stomach, butterflies in the little guy. But with Blue Chew, you're always ready for the big moment. And here's the best part. Blue Chew is a completely online service. No awkward doctor visits, no pharmacy lines, just straight to your door in discreet packaging. It's easy, right? Guys, it's time to step up your game and take control. Get your first month free when you use promo code ESPN at BlueChew.com. Just pay $5 for shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code ESPN. Remember, chew it and do it with Blue Chew.
Postgame continues now on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer.
Time flies when you're having fun, even when it is in a Bears loss. They fall to the Packers 20-19 on a devastating blocked field goal that would have won the game had Cairo Santos been able to convert from 46, but alas, he did not. It was blocked, and Matt Eberflus did settle for 46. He had an opportunity to run another play and potentially gain a few yards if he wanted to, chose not to, and settled for a 46-yard attempt, which ultimately was blocked. Caleb looked pretty solid in the game. Thomas Brown, I believe we all would agree, did a nice job changing the pace from Shane Waldron and putting Caleb in some good spots to not only run the football, but he made some nice throws as well. So I think that's the encouraging thing that we can talk about. But again, a tough loss. I'm Jeff Meller, Pat the Designer, Jason McKee, who was on the sidelines for today's game. And ripping through some final calls here before we wrap it up. Let's try Carl, who's in Aurora, boys.
So no, Carl.
Hey, gentlemen, how you doing?
How you doing?
Thanks,
Hey,
enjoy
Carl.
the show. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sounds
great.
beautiful.
So, couple questions, or one question, basically a statement. I think Eberflus has been debated to death. Worst situational coach in football I think I've ever seen on the Bears. It's almost like he doesn't get the rules, and I know he does, about timeouts. You can't carry him with you to the next game,
Great
not
points.
taking that last play. But here's my question. The biggest crime, well, they've done, personally to me, is you killed Caleb Williams' rookie year. We should have had a playoff year. I know it's about developing him now. Hopefully he got some confidence back. My question to you guys is actually a pretty easy one. Ryan Poles, how tied into Eberflus's fate is he? Because it looks like they're not going to get to 7-10 record like last year. And that's, forget the playoffs. I mean, It really feels like we're not even going to get to last year's record. What happens to Poles at the end of this? I think everyone has a really strong idea of what's going to happen to Eberflus. Thank you, gentlemen.
I think when you talk about the conversation, what happens to Poles, he gets an opportunity to build his offensive line. You got to get it right quick. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. That's the thing we think is missing. Listen, today shows you have two really good wide receivers on your team. We know what Cole Kmet is. It seems like you have a quarterback that when the pressure is on most, he can go out there and play. You've got a bunch of studs on the defensive side. You built this thing backwards. Yep. And it irritates most of our souls. I think most football people, every former player I've talked to is like, all right, we're building from the outside in. This is interesting. Mm-hmm. But now you get to build your base. You get to build your trenches. You got to hit fairly quickly on that. You cannot go into another season where we're sitting here having a tough conversation on another quarterback about, hey, you know, I think that this kid can play, but at the same time, he's running a lot.
Yeah, it's building the O-line, but it's also adding to the defensive line, right?
Yes.
Adding pass rush.
Yes.
If you want to have you've got the secondary, you brought in blue chip players at the linebacker position, you traded for one in Montez Sweat, but you need more. You know what I mean? You need a consistent pass rush with your front four. You also, like we talked about, offensive line has been a hot topic of debate. You felt that if you brought in a quarterback in Caleb Williams, he would overcome a lot of the deficiencies in the offensive line, but it hasn't happened, and it's understandable. You can't expect any rookie to come in this league and just light the world on fire, you know. And you had an offensive coordinator, I think, that put a lot on a young rookie, right, to make this offense go, making the right checks and protection. You know what I'm saying? Giving him the option to change calls when sometimes they didn't need to be changed. Yeah. That call needed to be run. You know what I mean? And it's a lot for a rookie. And it's tough. So it all starts up front, like we talked about. You can't put the roof on a house without a foundation. You can't build things out on the perimeter without making sure the interior is solidified. And that's where it should have started.
And I think, to answer your question, Carl, I do believe Ryan Poles will, you know, depending on how bad the rest of the season goes. I'm with you. The schedule doesn't really look like it breaks their way, so it'll be tough to get to 7 wins. But listen, it is the NFL. It's not impossible. We saw them give a good effort in a game that they should have won today. So if you do more of this today, it's possible. The Vikings are certainly a team they can beat. The 49ers lost yet again today to the Seahawks. They play the 49ers and Seahawks. So there's a couple of games on the schedule where the Bears, if they give you the effort they gave today, are certainly winnable. Yeah. Again, I think Ryan Poles, we've seen, likes Matt Eberflus. He's probably looking for a reason to bring him back. So if Matt Eberflus gives him that, it'll be interesting to see, will Kevin Warren feel like he needs to say, hey, Ryan, look, I get it, but what we went through this season, you know, the first half of the season, even if they do make a little bit of a push in the second half, you also have to ask the question, how did this head coach allow us to get to that spot where we got to week 10 and we were already folding up shop because we knew the playoffs weren't realistic? Yeah. That, I think, is a fair question any Bears fan is asking, and I think that's a fair question that needs to be put to Ryan Poles if he wants to be adamant that Matt Eberflus needs to come back next year. And then if he has an answer to Kevin Warren, I think that's where you hope Kevin Warren says, I get it, Ryan. He's your guy. You believe he's your guy. Still not good enough. You need to make the decision. It's either Matt Eberflus or it's both of you. Yeah. And maybe that'll be an uncomfortable position for Ryan Poles. But this gets back to everything that Pat and J Mac just talked about. Ryan Poles, his assessment of the offensive line wasn't a good one this year. Yeah. I naively gave him a little bit too much benefit of the doubt. I thought maybe the former offensive lineman could pick some gems and we would all be in a better spot. Yeah. That hasn't come to fruition. It's been a bad offensive line. And to what Pat was just talking about, now everybody who was saying you can't win without building up the trenches, well, those people, they look like they are Nostradamus, and the rest of the people were trying to say, Ryan Poles might be able to find some guys. Nah, we look bad right now.
Yeah, the problem is, right, and the part that scares me a little bit is you've got these great pieces. I think you've got the quarterback, if we're being honest. You've got a running back that's good enough for the moment in DeAndre Swift. It's the fact that you didn't even try. You didn't take the bat off your shoulder to even try and help your rookie quarterback. That's the part that scares me the most.
You know what scares me is that I think he was taking a swing, but he thought he was clever and cute enough, you know,
with Ryan Bates
to figure it out with Ryan Bates.
who we also lost yet again today to concussion protocol.
All right, boys, any final thoughts as we wrap this up? I do want to say thanks to Jack McGrath and Kendra Smith for producing today's post-game show. Any final thoughts before we look ahead for the Vikings next week at Soldier Field?
Yeah, vodka or tequila. That's my final thought. I don't know which one I'm going to do.
Okay.
That's my final thought.
That's a good way
That's all I got.
It's a good way to wrap up a Sunday night. You know what? I'll tell you what. How about both, J-Mac?
I'm
don't even have to make a decision.
Nothing wrong with both.
There you go.
That's my final thought.
The night's still young, boys. All right, for Jason McKee, Pat the designer, I am Jeff Meller. Thanks for listening. We will be back at it. Don't forget Matt Eberflus, the Bears head coach, joins Cap and J Hood tomorrow at 8:20. So make sure you're locked in on the home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN 1000.
Northwest Indiana, it's the rivalry